Hey, Marissa. There's about 8.5 minutes till game time. Where are you at? Okay. Then what? Okay. I guess we better go on after this song. Or after this song and after your commercial break. Yeah. Emails them to me. Well, welcome everybody to Billy Figure Fieldhouse here in St. Paul, Kansas, where St. Paul just 6 games left in the season. 5 of those 6 are at home. Tonight's game, they welcome Jayhawk Lynn to town and should be a very good matchup in boys and girls. First matchup this season, obviously. Jayhawk Lynn was in the Southeast Tournament, but neither the boys or girls faced them during that tournament bracket. So it'll be interesting to see how the girls come out against a very good Jayhawk Lynn team. Keith?
Yeah, I tell you what, it seem like they get up and down a little bit. They've been playing on a pretty good curve, and it's the kind of thing they're going to have to settle in for the, I know we're quite a ways away from the sub-state, but I think they're going to have to settle down and get a real thing going instead of this up and down.
They really come off with a hard-fought victory at Pleasanton on the road last Tuesday. It had been a week ago since they played, and really pretty sluggish up at Pleasanton. Hard-fought ball game, come out with a victory, but did not shoot the ball that great. So we'll see how they turn around here tonight. A little bit of injury problem on the Indians. Emily Hutcherson, I know, fighting a little bit of a knee injury. Suited out tonight, so we'll hope for the best there and hope she can get along okay. So they was a little short staff with Sydney Rice and Emily both going down in that game at Pleasanton, but they fought their way through it, led by Caitlin O'Brien in scoring, and Katie Coombs also had a nice game put together offensively. So they played a pretty decent game up there. And the boys also come out with a hard-fought victory and also look pretty sluggish, but Pleasanton, give them credit. Hard-fought ball game the whole way, back and forth. Actually, the Indian boys led quite a bit of that game, come back in the fourth quarter, come out with a nice road league victory. So Jayhawk Lynn boys, also a very good team here tonight as we do work our way right down the stretch of the regular season. Sub-State will be at home. As I mentioned, 6 games left in the season, just 1 road game Friday night at Altoona, and then the rest are at home, Keith, and then we also have Sub-State at home, so that's going to be real nice.
Yeah, we're really set up this year for that, for some success late. If we can take advantage of it, that's what it will be the key, of course.
Jayhawk Lynn at St. Paul tonight. Friday night, the Indians will travel to Altoona Midway, and then on the 12th, Monday, Southern Coffee County will come to St. Paul. On the 13th, back-to-back games, Oswego comes to St. Paul. And then on the 22nd, on a Thursday, Crest comes to St. Paul. So 3 games in a 4-day period for the Indians the week after next, so it's going to be a busy week. And then they roll right into sub-state play, seeding and play. That'll be hosted right here at St. Paul, so that's going to be real nice for all of us here, all the parents and grandparents and all the fans that want to come out and see a good sub-state. Just come to right old Billy Fager Fieldhouse, and you'll be able to see a good sub-state. We'll get you more into the sub-state next week at home during those home games, kind of go over possible matchups, possible seedings. I know Keisha has a new spot on their website where it gives you seedings this year as it goes through the year, so that's kind of nice to be able to get on there and see where you're seated at as you progress through the regular season. Both teams finishing their warm-ups. We're going to be back with this Richie's Pharmacy pregame show right after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Well, welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse. Dan Vitt alongside Keith Smith here tonight, filling in for Mike. Mike on the road this week, so Keith so kindly is going to fill in. I really appreciate it, Keith.
Well, you're welcome, Dan. I don't know if I can fill Mike's shoes, but we'll sure give it a shot anyway.
We're going to go ahead and pause here for the national anthem. Stay tuned here as the St. Paul Youth or Junior High Choir is going to sing the national anthem. A really nice job by the junior-senior choir here at St. Paul as we get ready to go over starting lineups for each team as we wrap up the Ritchie's Pharmacy's pregame show here at Billy Fager Fieldhouse. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank, and our tip-off sponsor will be our tip-off will be brought to you by Styles Fitness and more. We look for a good game here tonight, Keith, don't you?
Yeah, I think that St. Paul will definitely come out hot tonight. I think after that Pleasanton game, they're going to want to prove something. Dan, you're right. Again, they had 2 people out, but they still didn't play that hot. You know, you were talking about that 3-game stretch in those 4 days next week, or is it the week after? I can't remember. But none of those are easy games, I don't think, Dan. That's what gets me on that, is that those are all tough teams we're going to have to face. So it's going to be a tough week. By the end of the week, they'll know they played ball.
Yeah, right into the heart of league play, really down the stretch. You really get into league play going down the stretch here. For Jayhawk Lynn, yeah. Tingler, number 3, the senior, gets to start, as well as Taylor Wattrick. For Jayhawk Lynn, Beckman, a sophomore. So a sophomore and a senior on the court for Jayhawk Lynn. The second starter for the Indians is Sydney McCracken, just a junior for the Indians. Number 24, a senior, Koffel, gets a start for Jayhawk Lynn. For the Indians, senior Sydney Rice. Sydney looks to recover good off of that little bit of a knee injury. Got banged up, really got tangled up underneath the rim with a Pleasanton player and banged up her knee. But by Saturday, she told me she was pretty good shape, so that's good. Sandness, a senior, number 30, gets a start for Jayhawk Lynn. And Caitlin O'Brien gets a start for the Indians. And last but not least, Pointer, a senior. So 4 seniors and a sophomore on the floor for Jayhawk Lynn. So very senior-laden team. And a senior, Emily Winter, for the Indians. So 3 seniors, a sophomore, and a junior for the Indians. 4 seniors and a sophomore for Jayhawk Lynn as we get you set for the Styles Fitness More tip-off sponsor, or tip-off.
It'll be interesting to see tonight how Coach Tuck will have the team come out as far as, will they push with Sydney again since she was injured, or they're going to try to lay off her a little bit maybe and go to Sydney McCracken or some of the other players.
I don't know if Sydney Rice knows how to lay off very much. She's always hustling all over the place. The energy level has always been there for the Indians, boys and girls. That hasn't been the problem. The effort hasn't been the problem, but it's just been the shooting, on-off shooting, and hopefully you'd hope as the season goes along you'd get a little more rhythm there, so we hopefully can get back on track here a little bit tonight.
Sure seems like with the boys team, it's execution. Like you say, they can get themselves set up. They just sometimes can't finish.
Sandus is set to tip off against O'Brien, and here is our Styles Fitness More tip-off. It is controlled, chased down by Sydney Rice. So it's controlled by the Indians, and we are underway here at St. Paul. Jayhawk Lynn versus St. Paul and Billy Fager Fieldhouse. Wattrick over at right wing with the basketball, up top to Winter. Swings it around to Rice at left wing. Behind the back dribble, back up top to O'Brien.
The Jayhawk Lynn girls are playing really tough man-to-man right now.
McCracken up top, tries to feed inside for O'Brien. Tipped out to Rice, cross-court pass to Winter, 3-point shot on the way. Good! Emily Winter gets the Indians off to that good shooting start that they so needed against Pleasanton. They come out with a hard-fought victory at Pleasanton, but did not shoot the ball that well. Feed inside to Sandus, turnaround shot, no good. Rebound, O'Brien.
Excellent defense by Emily Winter.
O'Brien back down with the basketball above the timeline, top of the key, swings it to left wing to McCracken. Key said man-to-man defense applied by Jayhawk Lynn. Look for a backdoor cut here as they're playing tight. Now O'Brien with the three-pointer, bang! 6-0. The Indians ahead by 6.
If they can stay this hot, they're going to be tough to deal with. That's
back-to-back three-pointers by Winter and then just now O'Brien. So you can't shoot much better than that from the field. Now a 5-second call on that good man-to-man defense that you always see out of them Indian girls.
That Taylor Wattrick and Sydney Rice are just buzzsaws out there, man. They're all over the place.
Wattrick feeds it into Rice. Rice bounce pass over to Wattrick at left wing, back up top to O'Brien. Over to the right wing to Winter. Up to McCracken at the top of the key. McCracken surveys everybody, swings it around to O'Brien, and it's going to be a foul on the floor. And that is going to be on number 30. I believe it is on Sandus, the senior. Yes, it is. First foul on her. First team foul on either team. Watrick set to put it on play. Bounce pass into O'Brien. It's on the floor. She gets it, comes out there with it. Bounce pass over to Watrick. Ball fake, dribbles in. Shot on the way. Short, no good. Rebound Sandus for Jayhawk Lynn. Down the court hard comes Jayhawk Lynn. Shot no good. That shot put up by Beckman.
Oh,
Chased out of bounds, but it's going to be out on the Indians. Good hustle by Caitlin O'Brien, chasing the ball down the court.
yeah, she was floor burning on that one, man. She was all the way on the ball.
Koffel puts the ball in play to Beckman. Back up top to Beckman. Over to the right wing. Shot on the way. Good. Three-pointer of their own. That is put in there by number 3, Tingler, the senior. Rice all the way back down. Kicks it out to Winter. Three-pointer from the baseline. Good.
St. Paul is on.
Winter
Yes.
bangs in her second three of the night. Right back down comes Jayhawk Lynn. Back up top to Beckman. Dribbles to her left. Now swings it around to Pointer. Pass inside deflected out by Rice. It'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
Great pursuit and great hands by Sydney Rice on that defense.
Sub in for Jayhawk Lynn, number 25, Wilson, a junior. Koffel looking to get it in. Finally gets it into Tingler. Shot from the baseline on the way. No good. Rebound Winter. Winter double team down there, dribbles out of the double team, gets it ahead to Watrick. Now Watrick pushes the ball hard up the floor, all the way in, Euro step, layup, no good, short, rebound, brought down by Beckman. Beckman right back down towards baseline, bounce pass inside, a shot on the way, but no good, but she's fouled. That shot put up by Sandus, the senior. Good pass inside, Beckman to Sandus. Sandus will go to the line to shoot 2. That foul's on Emily Winter, first on her, first team foul for the Indians.
I'll tell you, Taylor Watrick, after she missed that shot, was just back as hard as can be.
The first free throw by Sandus is good.
Some kids would mow, but not Taylor, man. She was down the court right on top of the ball.
Getting a lot of background noise. I don't know if that's coming through at home. I hope it's not. Sandus makes her second. And it is 9-5. Indians up by 4. Indians all 9 points, 3 for 3 from three-point land to start this ball game. Watrick, right wing with the basketball, feeds it up top to Winter. Over to O'Brien. O'Brien dribbles around the screen all the way in. Layup, no good. Winter rebound, put back no good. O'Brien, put back no good. Back to back to back offensive rebounds by Winter and O'Brien. Can't get it to go, but O'Brien is fouled, so she'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That was one of those cases where the Jayhawk Lynn girls were coming down as the ball was going up, and they were going up as the ball was coming down.
O'Brien settles into the line to shoot 2. First one on its way and right through there and good as Hutcherson and Coombs and Katie Carter all check into the ball game.
Wow, the Indians are really hitting that basket, man. They're looking good, like good shots too.
Looks like Hutcherson has a knee brace on her right knee. Good to see her in the game here. O'Brien settles in for a second. Indians lead 10-5. Second shot on its way and right through there. And also in for Dawson, in for Jayhawk Lynn. Dawson comes down with the basketball, swings it around to the left, down on the post, almost a walk. Back up top to Dawson. A couple ball fakes. Good ball movement by Jayhawk Lynn. I can't even get out who it's going to. Backdoor cut on Coombs. Coombs let her person get by her on the back door. And Jayhawk Lynn scores. That score put up by Gabauer for Jayhawk Lynn. Carter with the ball, right wing to Coombs, looks inside at O'Brien, feeds it in her, and it's going to be a push from the backside. That's going to be on number 23, Gabauer. That's the second team foul on Jayhawk Lynn. First on her. Rice looks to get the ball in, feeds it in to O'Brien. O'Brien's shot blocked, but she's fouled, so she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Good feed on the inbounds into O'Brien from Rice. So O'Brien goes to the line to shoot 2. Indians lead by 4, 11-7, 4:10 left to go here in the first. First shot by O'Brien is up and through there. As O'Brien settles in for her second. It's on its way and right through there. So O'Brien off to a good start, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 7 points on the night with also adding a 3 on there. Foul on Carter for the Indians. She fouls Beckman, the sophomore. It'll be the third team foul on the Indians. First on Carter, just second team foul on the Indians. First on Carter. Fed into Tingler. Tingler feeds it inside, backdoor cut on Carter. Layup, no good, short. Rebound, Jayhawk Lynn. Put back, no good, knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be off of Jayhawk Lynn and go to the Indians. So the Indians has got burned on a couple backdoor cuts. One on Coombs and one on Carter. The young freshman got caught letting her person slip behind her, so a good feed on the backdoor cut. No good on the layup. Indians come up with the basketballs out on Jayhawk Lynn. O'Brien with it, top of the key, over to Hutcherson at right wing. Bounce pass into Coombs. Tough bounce pass, stolen away. Coombs couldn't quite get the handle on it. Not too bad of a pass. Tingler right back down with the basketball. Feeds it off to Dawson. Dawson into Koffel. Koffel over to Beckman. Shot on the way, no good. Rebound, Katie Coombs. And that's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to be Jayhawk Lynn as quickly Beckman reaches in there and grabs it from Coombs as O'Brien comes. Caitlin O'Brien comes out. Emily Winter goes back in. Jayhawk Lynn under their own basket, looking, tried to feed it in bounds. Almost stolen away by the Indians, but saved. Now feed inside on the right block. A lot of traffic in there. No shot. Foul on the floor on the Indians against Jayhawk Lynn.
Jayhawks were hustling on that one. They when that about went out of bounds, we thought it was going to be St. Paul possession, and they were able to come up with the ball.
That's on Emily Hutcherson. Third team foul on the Indians. First on her. Feed down into the left block. Double team down there, and it's going to be another jump ball. The Indians will have possession arrow on that jump ball as they fed it into Wilson, and she got tangled up with Coombs and I believe maybe Watrick on the double team. Indians basketball, 3:05 left to go in the first. Indians up by 6, 13-7. Watrick loses the ball on her own, out of bounds, so turnover on her, gives it right back to Jayhawk Lynn.
I think Watrick had her eye toward the play rather than on the basketball and just got out in front of it.
Beckman back down, the young sophomore for Jayhawk Lynn, feeds it to the right wing to Tingle. Feed inside to Wilson against Coombs. She's double teamed on baseline, and that's going to be a foul on the Indians. Fourth team foul on the Indians.
Katie was just in there with her hands up in the air and used her body, and so I think that's where she got
first
the foul.
On Katie Coombs. Jayhawk Lynn's basketball and a steal in there. Hutcherson comes out there with it. She feeds it ahead to Watrick. Watrick tries to feed across court to Carter, and it's out of bounds on a bad pass by Watrick.
That's one when the trailer's that far ahead of you, you need to pull it out.
Rice,
the offense.
O'Brien, and McCracken all come in for Watrick, Hutcherson, and Carter. So back-to-back turnovers on Jayhawk Lynn and the Indians. The ball goes back and forth. Now it's back in Jayhawk Lynn's hand. Beckman with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. Almost a steal by Rice. Knocks it out of bounds. Good hustle by her.
Yeah, very good hustle.
Beckman tried to feed it to Dawson. Rice almost got to pass the lane, but knocked it out of bounds. Beckman back with the basketball, guarded by O'Brien. O'Brien swats it out of bounds. It'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn again.
You know, they're very disciplined with their hands. They don't hit the arms. They really go for the ball.
Feed into Beckman. Beckman dribbles against O'Brien. Now she goes towards the baseline, feeds it to Tingle. Tingle to the free throw line. Now feeds it over to the left elbow, back to Dawson, now back up to Tingle. Tingle back to Dawson, left wing, guarded by Rice. Puts the ball on the floor, top of the key up above the timeline. Now goes to the right elbow. Reverse pass over to Beckman. Now up to Wilson, back to Beckman. Beckman tries to drive against O'Brien. Bounce pass out to the left wing. Back to Beckman. Good ball movement by the Indians. Boy, that could have been a travel, and it was a travel. just a late call by the top ref. Must not had his whistle in his mouth because it looked like a travel. That travel called on Tingler.
She took a hesitation step there and got caught.
That's always borderline when you see that, but 9 times out of 10 anymore they call that a lot. They don't call that travel on that Euro step, but they'll call it if you get going a little bit too quick. There's a back cut to McCracken. Indians with back cut of their own, and she scores. Good job on the back cut on that aggressive man-to-man defense by Jayhawk Lynn. Beckman with the basketball cut off, almost a steal by Rice. Now into the lane. It's going to be a travel on Jayhawk Lynn. That's going to be a travel on Wilson. 1:21 left to go in the first. 15-7, Indians lead.
2 straight turnovers on Jayhawk Lynn. I hope St. Paul can convert.
Emily Winter at right wing with the basketball. She guarded out there by Pointer. Now to O'Brien. O'Brien to the elbow. Gives it to McCracken. McCracken bounce pass over to Winter. Sets her feet. Baseline three-pointer. Long this time. No good. Beckman with the rebound. So Winter with her first miss of the night. Now Beckman chased by, now steal in there by Emily Winter. She comes down the right side. Tingle's there. Shot up. Good, good. Concentration on the layup there with a lot of contact with Tingle. Now Rice pokes it away from Tingle. Pokes it away again. Ball's on the floor. Pointer comes out of there with it. Now Beckman back to Tingle. As Rice picks her up by the timeline. Into Wilson. Wilson against Coons. Feeds it out to Tingle. Tingle to the free throw line. Hands it to Pointer. Indians good aggressive defense here, Keith. Shot on the way by Pointer. No good. Rebound Coons. Coons hands it off to Rice.
Lady Jayhawks just can't even concentrate in there with Sydney Rice, Taylor Wattrick, and the players right on top of them.
11 seconds left to go in the quarter. 17-7, Indians up to 10. Turnaround shot by O'Brien. Oh, off the rim, no good, but she's fouled by Beckman. So she'll go to the line to shoot too. So O'Brien ought to be able to, if Beckman guards her in the man, she ought to be able to get in there on the post, Keith, with a good height advantage.
Yeah, it gets some high passes in there to her, maybe a bounce pass.
4.4 seconds left to go here in the first. O'Brien's first free throw on its way and good. (18-7). Indians up by 11. Good first quarter by the Lady Indians. Second free throw good. 4.4 seconds left to go in the first. Feed into Tingle. Clock's running. 3, 2. Shot at the buzzer. Shot a little early. No good. So at the end of one, 19-7. Indians up by 12. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout. You're in St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Hey, Marissa. Can you hear that gravelly sound? Can you hear that static over the phone? You can? I'm going to hang up and call you back. All right, we're back. Is that any better? I don't hear it right now, so maybe it's a little better. Okay, good.
Here's what they've scored in this first quarter. She's got
9 by O'Brien, 8 by Winter. That's a 2-man game. Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse as we get ready to start the second quarter. Indians lead by 12 with hot starts by O'Brien and Winter. O'Brien with 9, Winter with 8. Static back again, Keith. Yeah, Tingler with the basketball starts the second quarter. She's double teamed out top. Now steal by Winter. Winter gets it poked away by Tingler and gives it right back to the Jayhawk Lynn. Feed outside now up top to Beckman. Three-pointer on the way. High off the rim, no good. Tipped around and knocked out of bounds by Winter off her hands. So it'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
Caitlin and O'Brien and Emily Winter were just trying to pull that one down and stabbing it with their hands and just went off them.
Jayhawk Lynn basketball under their own rim. Feed inside. Sandness gives it back up top to Tingler. Tingler guarded by Hutcherson now. Screen set. That could have been a moving screen. No called. Shot on the way. No good. Winner comes down with it. She's triple teamed down there. Bounce pass out to McCracken. McCracken pushes the ball down the floor. Feeds it ahead to Hutcherson. Hutcherson back to McCracken. Shot blocked, but she's fouled. And she's going to go line and shoot two. She's fouled by Pointer. That'll be the 16th foul on Jayhawk Lynn. I believe the first on Pointer. First or second, Keith?
That's first, yes.
First on Pointer, 16 foul on Jayhawk Lynn. So 4 on the Indians, 6 on Jayhawk Lynn, and our static is back. McCracken's free throw on its way, and she gets the bounce, and it goes in. 20-7 as Watrick checks in for Rice. As McCracken settles in for her second. On its way and off the rim, no good. Rebound Jayhawk Lynn. Koffel with the basketball, pushes it ahead, gives it to Beckman. Beckman back to Koffel. Koffel top of the key, guarded by McCracken. Feeds it over to Sandness, who's back up top to Tingle, guarded by Hutcherson. Goes around a screen at the elbow, feeds it back to Koffel. Shot on the way, no good. Rebound, fought for, and ripped out there by Beckman. Feeds it back out to Tingle. Shot on the way, no good. Right to Pointer. Her shot no good. Rebound Indians. And that's going to be a foul on Emily Winter. Indians come out of there with the basketball, but somehow Winter got called away from the basketball.
Caitlin, I think.
Oh, on Caitlin O'Brien. So
yeah, I don't know how.
First on her, 15 foul on the Lady Indians. Jayhawk Lynn basketball, and her three-point shot by Tingle. Long, no good, and there's going to be another foul. That's going to be on McCracken. As Jayhawk Lynn player went skidding across the floor on her backside, so McCracken got her money's worth on that one. 16 foul on the Indians, first on McCracken. Bounce pass inside to Tingle, so Jayhawk Lynn getting plenty of opportunities on this possession. And they finally convert, so they make the Indians pay. The Indians had 2 defensive rebounds and got called for fouls on both of them, and finally Tingle knocks a shot down. Indians up by 11, 20-9, just underway here in the second quarter. Cross the court pass to Hutcherson. Dribbles back towards the top of the key, feeds it back up to O'Brien. O'Brien with the ball fake, now she drives inside, feeds it out to Hutcherson. 3-point shot by her, long, no good. Chased down by Winter though, saves it inbounds to Watrick. Watrick back to Winter, feed into O'Brien. That's going to be a foul over the top on Sandness. So that's going to be the bonus for the Indians. That's going to send O'Brien to line, shoot the front end of 1-1.
Oh, 3.
So O'Brien settles in, shoot the front end of 1-1 as Wilson checks back in, and that's 3 fouls on Sandness, the senior for Jayhawk Lynn. So she rapidly comes out of the game. First shot by O'Brien is right through there and good.
O'Brien's with 7 points at the foul line right now tonight.
They may have to try to call back on a different telephone here in a minute, Keith. O'Brien, second shot long, no good. So O'Brien's first miss on the night. Rebound Tingle. Tingle drives to the free throw line to Beckman. Ball fake, drives inside, feeds it. Shot on the way, no good, but she's going to be fouled on the floor. That was Wilson with the shot, so she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Rayleigh Wilson, a junior for Jayhawk Lynn. A lot of subs for Jayhawk Lynn as Dawson checks back into the game for Tingler.
I think that missed free throw on the other end by Caitlin O'Brien is her first miss of the night.
Katie Carter checks in for Hutcherson for the Indians. So right now it's Coombs, Rice, Watrick, Carter, and Winter on the floor for the Lady Indians. As Wilson makes her first free throw, cuts into the lead. It's 21-10. Lady Indians up by 11. 5:58 left to go here in the second quarter. Second shot on its way and good. Rice with the basketball for the Indians. 21-11, 10-point lead for the Lady Indians. Over to Watrick. Watrick drives the elbow, kicks it out to Carter. Carter swings it over to Rice. Rice pretty quiet on the night offensively. Here's her first shot, and she makes it on a nice little 10-foot shot. So Sydney Rice on the board for the Lady Indians. Beckman right back down. Floater on the way, no good. Pointer pokes it away, and it's controlled out there by Dawson. Now almost stolen by the Indians. And it's going to be a jump ball as Watrick gets in there and ties her up. And it's going to go back to the Lady Indians. because Jayhawk Lynn started with possession of the basketball, start this second quarter. So
on that last possession, Beckman just drove into 3 tall Indians. How she even got it out of toward the basket, I don't know, but it was nowhere near.
Watrick over to Carter, back up top to Rice. Rice swings it around to Winter. Winter looks inside. Now she drives the free throw line against Pointer, out to Carter. Thought about the 3, passed it up. Now tries to bounce pass into Winter, and she's going to be fouled from the backside. Pointer, and that's going to send her to the line. That's the eighth team foul on Jayhawk Lynn. And that is the second on Pointer as Gebauer checks back into the game for Jayhawk Lynn. Winter settles into the line, shoots a 1-1. Emily had a great first quarter as she cans a first free throw. As she 2 out of 3 from three-point land in that first quarter. So the Indians definitely shooting better in the first half so far. 25-11. Indians up by 14. Winter with 10 points on the night. Over to the right wing, Gebauer. I have trouble with that name, Keith. Oh, nice pass inside as Jayhawk Lynn scores. Koffel scores, number 24. Rice right back down with the basketball. Into the lane she goes, kicks it out. 3-point shot by Winter. Good! And a foul away from the basketball somewhere. And that's going to be a foul on Katie Coombs. The 3-pointer will count by Winter, so she continues her hot shooting. 13 on the night for Winter. So she is off to an awesome start here, Keith, as that's going to send Wilson to the line. It fouls the second on Katie Coombs on a box out on defense. She kind of looks in dismay, like in practice we call that boxing out. Yep. First shot, no good. Winter with a rebound. Off to Rice. 4:46 left to go here in the first half. 28-13, 15-point lead for the Indians. Coombs shot good.
Oh, wow, how'd that go in?
A tough shot by Coombs. A lot of contact.
No foul.
As Koffel ended up on the floor. A nice baseline little jump shot by Coombs. Koffel dragging all over her. And she gets it to go and gives the Indians a 17-point lead. Bauer with the basketball, feeds it to Tingler. Tingler guarded by Watrick. She drives to the left. Cut off there. Now shot on the way and off. No good. That shot taken by Wilson. It's going to be out on the Indians. That'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
That shot by Katie Coombs, it looked like it was under the rim, climbed up over the rim and dropped in.
Feed inside to Tingler. Almost a 5-second call on the inbounds. Tingler with the basketball. Gebauer off to Beckman. Beckman holds it against Carter, the young freshman on Beckman. Up top to Tingler. Tingler goes down toward the right baseline. Has a little lane. Got a little lane. That's not very good. And she makes a shot from the baseline. 30-15. So tough shot put up by Tingler. She gets it to go. Rice with the basketball, feet inside to Coombs. Coombs turns and looks, kicks back out to Rice. Rice into the lane, 10-foot jump shot off the bank, good. Sydney Rice answers Jayhawk's score with a score of her own, so she's coming to life here. Beckman kicks it back out to Tingler. Tingler to Gebauer, up to Tingler. Tingler looks inside, gets to Wilson, and that's going to be a foul on somebody for the Indians. They look at one another like, who are you calling that on? It's going to be on 32, Emily Winter, her second, I believe. Yes, and team foul number 9 on the Indians. So
I was afraid that was going to be on Katie Coombs to get her in the foul trouble.
She was looking like, is that on me? Because the last one she didn't think was on her. It was. So anyway, it wasn't. It was on Winter. So she's picked up her second. She needs to be careful here with 3 minutes left to go as O'Brien checks back into the game for the Indians. So it's O'Brien, Rice, McCracken. Now to the corner to McCracken. Almost loses it to Rice. Inside to O'Brien. O'Brien turns. Shot on the way. Good! And she's fouled. What a shot
that was
by Caitlin O'Brien as she looked to be way too far underneath the basket. Somehow she got it to go, and she is fouled by number 42, 32?
32. No, 23.
Oh, 23. Gebauer. I don't know if I have any idea if I'm saying that name right or not. 34-15, Indians lead as O'Brien tries to complete the old-fashioned three-point play on a tough shot by her. She remains hot from the field, and she gets the free throw to go.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to say about these Indians. They finish. You know, Katie Coombs and that shot by Caitlin O'Brien, they just finish.
Well, I tell you what, Keith, 35 points in the first half with still just about 3 minutes left to go. So that just tells you how good a shooting. I know Coach Tuck would take this every game. Tingler shot three-pointer on the way, no good. She gets her own rebound. Now Rice pulls it down. Rice down the other end, shot on the way in, good off the backboard, high off the backboard. As Coach Tuck wasn't happy with Taylor Watcher. She didn't box Tingler out on the offensive end. Last possession down, Tingler got her own rebound. So a timeout on the floor, and it is a full timeout. Indians lead 37-15. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Oh, welcome back. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul's Supermarket for all your grocery needs. Jayhawk Lynn with the timeout has the basketball. Tingler with the ball, left wing, guarded by Rice. She tries to feed it inside, poked away by McCracken, but off her foot, out of bounds, so it'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn as Katie Carter checks back in for O'Brien. Surprised she didn't go in for Winter there. We don't want Winter picking up her third foul here in the last 2 minutes of this half as Beckman checks back in for Gebauer.
Beckman's a little hustler too. She gets all over the darn court.
Dawson with the basketball, fed it into Tingler. Now back to Dawson, now back to Tingler at left wing. Watrick all over Dawson. She dribbles to her right. Watrick cuts her off. Now she reverses to the left-hand side. The count is on. So good job by Watrick. She knocks it out of bounds. She's on the floor. So it'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
If you watch Watrick, her feet don't plant. They're constantly moving, and that's really a hallmark of a good defender right there.
Tingler feeds it into Dawson up above the timeline. Pestered out there by Watrick, and she loses her footing out of bounds. It's going to be off of Watrick again. So Watrick on one side of the court, and now the other. Good hustle by her. Dawson set to put the ball in play. She tripped over her own feet, I believe, and went to the floor, but Watrick trying to save it, knocked it out of bounds. Now Beckman picked up out there by Carter. Tingler almost ran. Now Rice almost with a steal. Feed down to number 55, Coleman. Now back up to Tingler, over to Beckman. Beckman above the timeline, dribbles to her left, tries to feed it inside, tipped away, and Carter comes out there with it. She slows up. Now Winter feeds it over to Rice. A good job by Winter poking that away, and Carter coming up with it. Rice swings it to Carter. 1:25 left to go in the first half. Indians lead 37-15. Now Rice in there, and that's going to be a double dribble. Sydney Rice thought she was going to get away with it. Kind of smiling when they finally did blow the whistle as she went from her left to right, got the ball kind of tangled up and got over her head. 37-15, Indians lead here with 1:19 left to go in the first half. Beckman with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. Picked up by the timeline by Carter. Over to Dawson. Dawson guarded by, she drives the baseline, guarded by Watrick. Kicks it back out to Beckman. Beckman into the lane, feeds it to Tingler. Three-point shot on the way, off the rim, no good. Rice with the rebound. Rice pushes the ball hard up the floor. McCracken down there. Now Rice kicks it out to McCracken. Three-point shot right baseline. Ooh, off the rim, looked good. And that's going to be a foul away from the basketball on who?
Rice, maybe?
Boy, I didn't see that one.
I sure didn't either.
No, it's going to be on Watrick, I guess. I sure didn't see that, as Rice and Watrick was both standing side by side. A foul on Watrick, 10th team foul, so that's going to be the double bonus, as Pointer's going to shoot 2 with 54.7 seconds left to go here in the first half. Just Watrick's first foul. Pointer's free throw is off, as Wilson checks back into the game for Jayhawk Lynn. She comes in for Koffel.
St. Paul lucky with 10 fouls. The most they have on any one player is two fouls.
Second shot by Pointer on its way off the backboard, no good. Rebound by Rice brings it down. 50 seconds left to go here in the first half. Rice swings it over to McCracken.
I'm like you, Dan. I'd get Emily Winter out of there, I believe, at this point.
McCracken to Carter. Carter dribbles to her left. Feeds it over to Watrick. Watrick holds the ball over her head. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Watrick inside. Back out to McCracken. Now into Winter. Winter into the lane. Layup no good. Rebound Pointer for Jayhawk Lynn. 20 seconds left to go. Beckman with the basketball. Drives against Carter. Dribbles out. Now feeds it out to Pointer. Pointer cut off by Winter. Three-point shot on the way by Dawson. No good. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to be off of Jayhawk Lynn. So the Indians are going to have a chance here with 10 seconds left to go.
I think that went right off Pointer's body off the carom, and she couldn't get her hands out quick enough to keep it from going out of bounds.
Stick around for a St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show. 5 seconds left. Rice into the lane. Layup good. Good job by Sydney Rice. Just driving right in there and putting it in there, giving the Indians a 39-15 lead here at halftime. We'll be back with your St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show right after this 2-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse, and welcome to our St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show. Dan Bidd alongside Keith Smith tonight, bringing you the Indians ball games tonight, and the Lady Indians off to a red hot start here in the first half. They lead 39-15 against a pretty good Jayhawk Lynn team. Keith?
Yeah, they St. Paul's defense has been really tough. They've been right on top of them. Jayhawk Lynn came out tough at first, but then I don't know if they settled back or what, because St. Paul was getting some easy baskets, and I think they decided to settle back and defend the rim a little more than get high out on St. Paul players.
Just a real good first half put together by the Lady Indians as far as turnovers and shooting percentage, shooting from the field way better than they've shot in the past. So Indians feeling good being at home here tonight in Billy Fager Fieldhouse. Hope that carries on to the second half and right into the boys game. So because they are shooting red hot, led by Emily Winter and Caitlin O'Brien as far as scoring, and we'll have all them scoring stats here after our next break. But a good game put together here as the Indians at home here tonight against Jayhawk Lynn, and then Friday night to go on the road at Altoona, and then 3 games next week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, all at home, or excuse me. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, next week is Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then the next week just a game on Thursday. So 3 games next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. 3 games in 5 days, so see how the Indians react to that on a busy week next week, all at home. Southern Coffee County comes on Monday night, Oswego comes to town on Tuesday night, and Yates Center, a very good Yates Center boys team I know, comes to town on Friday night, and then Crest on senior night on the 22nd. Always fun time going down the stretch, and then the sub-state will be at St. Paul the following week after that. So busy time here at Billy Fager Fieldhouse coming up, Keith.
Yeah, I think Athletic Director Mark Trillip's going to have his hands full next week, and then maybe get a little respite with 1 game the following week, but then it really gets hot with sub-state and all the games that will be going on here at Billy Fager Fieldhouse in St. Paul.
Athletic Director Mr. Turlip sent out activity calendar today, got it on email, and it was pretty full going down the stretch here in February. So,
and if you got the bank calendar, bank schedule out earlier, I think the Galena game had originally been scheduled for next week, and I think they moved it. I don't know why they moved it back up earlier in the season, but they did.
I think that was one. It was right before sub-state, and I believe that might have been one of the weeks where there would be somebody. I think maybe Galena would have had 3 games scheduled that week, and we both had an open date earlier where we only had 1 game that would only have 2 games that week. So it kind of made common sense to move it to there. So Indians traveled to Galena that night. We get back from this next 2-minute break. You are listening to St. Paul Tire Loop halftime show. We get back from this next time out. We will have Keith will have all the first half stats and scoring for you. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. I hear that static now. See that? Shooting 60%.
Wow. What are they shooting, do you know?
He just sends me ours. I want to thank everybody for streaming live on the internet, listening to Keith and I tonight. A good ball game so far in the first half. This halftime show brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. I want to thank all our sponsors. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank. They're in St. Paul. Go visit Joe and Josh for all your banking needs. When we get back from this next timeout, this timeout will be brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. So after this 2-minute timeout, everybody listen live here. Keith will have all first half stats for us. This is where we can make a lot of fun streaming on live about Mike not being here, Keith.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse and our St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show. Keith, what do you got for first half stats?
Well, as you showed me there earlier, Dan, St. Paul with a hot hand tonight, 60% shooting from the field, and just lighting it up, and the score is indicative of that with 39 points. And the leader out the gate for St. Paul at first half was Caitlin O'Brien with 13 points. She scored 8 of those at the free throw line, and she had a three-pointer as well in there. Emily Winter had 2 quick three-pointers, came back with another three-pointer in the second quarter and a couple free throws, so she's at 12 points. Katie Coombs is with 2 points tonight. Sydney Rice at 8. She scored all 8 of hers in the second quarter. I don't even think she took a shot, let alone made one in that first quarter. And then Sydney McCracken with 3 points on the night. 3 points on the night. She had hit just a free throw and then a field goal. Taking a look at what the Lady Jayhawks are doing. Leading scorer for that team is Hannah Tingler. She's the one that seems to move well on offense. She had 3 in the first quarter and then 4 in the second quarter for 7 points. Then we had Kate Gebauer, Indy Koffel, Riley Wilson, and Alex Sandness, all with 2 points for Lady Jayhawks, and that's their score 15 points in that first half. Yeah, like
Indians
lighten it up.
Indians shooting 12 for 20 from the floor for 60%, 8 for 13 from two-point land, shooting 61% on two-pointers. So this next stat's going to be a good one. 4 for 7 from three-point land for 57%, 11 for 13 from the free throw line, 84%. Just 5 turnovers in the first half. So all those numbers you could live with for the rest of the season, that's for sure. Coach Stuck going to be real happy with that. 4 steals on the night. Of course, 10 total fouls. Nobody on, let me see, we got 3. Coombs, Winter, and O'Brien all have 2 fouls, so they're going to have to be careful early on starting this second half. Rebounds, Indians have 13 total rebounds, 10 defensive and only 3 offensive, and that's indicative of the 60% shoot from the floor. You don't have to get an offensive rebound if you make the first shot. So nice. 4 assists on the night for the Lady Indians. So great first half put together by the Lady Indians, and that's indicative by scoring 39 points in that first half.
That's the stats that a lot of lady teams would take for the whole game.
There's a lot of college basketball teams that would take that in the first half. Them stats you could accept anywhere, and so hopefully that will carry on. Hopefully it's not hopefully the good shooting can carry on here in the second half. Indians need to remain aggressive. They always play off of their defense. That's always what drives their offense 90% of the time, is that good aggressive defense. We're getting ready for our second half tip-off. Going to be brought to you by St. Paul Styles Fitness and More, as it will be Jayhawk Lynn's basketball to start this second half.
One thing the Lady Jayhawks have to watch out for, Alex Sandness and Kate Gabauer both have 3 fouls apiece, and maybe St. Paul will be driving in toward them if they see that weakness.
McCracken, Rice, Watrick, Winter, and O'Brien on the floor for the Lady Indians. Now a little double high screen, handoff to Tingler. Tingler kicks it back up top to Sandness. Sandness, as Keith said, in the game with 3 fouls. Pointer also with 3. Now Tingler towards the baseline. Steal in there by Rice as she cut in front of that backdoor feed, trying to feed it into Pointer. Rice kicks it over to McCracken. As Rice cuts through the lane, McCracken looks at her up top to O'Brien. O'Brien swings it over to Rice, left wing, up top to Watrick above the timeline. Taylor Watrick feeds it back to O'Brien. O'Brien up top to McCracken. Feed over the head of everybody and out of bounds. So there's a turnover on the Lady Indians to start the second half. Beckman with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. Picked up there above the timeline by Watrick. Now she picks up her dribble. Now gets it off to Tingler at right wing. She's guarded by McCracken. She loses it out of bounds. So pretty sloppy start by both teams to start this second half. As Tingler loses it out of bounds, it goes right back to Lady Indians. Rice with the basketball as Watrick feeds it into her. Up at the timeline. Swings it to Watrick at right wing. Up top to McCracken. Now over to Winter. Backdoor cut by Rice, but Winter missed her. She dribbles to her right. Now reverses it back to Watrick. Into the lane goes Watrick. Layup, good. Good drive by Watrick as Winter cut through there and kind of cleared the defense out. Now Tingler right back down with the basketball. Feeds it off to Beckman. Watrick knocks it out of bounds. It'll be off the Indians. It'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
That drive by Taylor Watrick, it was in control. That's what sometimes you see when they get in a clear lane like that, they'll get out of control and can't finish.
Tingler over the left wing to Koffel. Koffel tries feet inside, knocked away by Rice, but Pointer comes back with it. Shot no good. Watrick comes out with it, feeds it ahead to McCracken on the breakaway. Pointer's down there. She misses the layup. A little contact by Pointer, no call. Now Watrick tries to jump in there, and she's going to get called for a foul. First team foul the second half. Second on her, I believe. Yep, second on Watrick. So now 3 Indians with 2 fouls each. Coombs, Winter, Watrick, and O'Brien all with 2 fouls. Beckman loses on the floor. Watrick's on the floor after it. Now Beckman comes out there with it. Now poked away by Rice. Poked away by McCracken. Ahead to Rice, and she converts on the layup. Almost said Rice to Rice. That would have been hard to do. Could have did that last year with Raquel and Sydney in there, but not this year. Tingler at right wing with the basketball, guarded by McCracken. Now to Koffel. That was Wilson, excuse me, not Koffel. Now Beckman from the elbow. Left-handed shot short, no good. Saved inbounds by Koffel. Now Winter loses it overhead, but she recovers. Now down for the layup. No good on the left-handed layup. Tipped away. Now O'Brien comes out there with us. A good hustle by the Indians. Cross-court pass to Winter. Three-pointer from the baseline. Long, no good. And that's off of Jayhawk Lynn's foot. Oh. And it'll stay with the Lady Indians. That was the right call because number 30 got over there, Sandness, and it went off her foot and out of bounds. And she was trying to protect the Indians from getting it, and it went off of her foot. So feet inside to Winter. Now to O'Brien, right elbow, feed into McCracken, layup, good. Offensive play. Good feed from O'Brien to McCracken. 45-15, 30-point lead for the Indians. I sure didn't see this one coming. Jayhawk Lynn, pretty good basketball team. Elbow back up top to Koffel. Koffel over to Gebauer. And feed back up top to Wilson. Or Koffel, excuse me. Koffel over to Dawson as subs comes in as I get reset here with all the subs in the game for Jayhawk Lynn. Now feed inside out of bounds off of Jayhawk Lynn. It's a good defense again by the Lady Indians. Create a turnover as now Foley, Coombs, Carter, and Hutcherson. 4 subs come in for the Indians. O'Brien, the lone Indian that stays on the floor.
St. Paul with a 30-point lead now. I imagine the clock's going to...
It won't start till the fourth quarter,
okay.
Keith. Yeah. Well, hopefully Indians can keep playing well here and shooting well. Foley with the basketball. Good for the young freshmen to get in this game and get a lot of playing time. Carter right in the lane. Little 10-foot jump shot. Good job by Katie Carter. Drove right in there and put that shot up and right through there. Good confidence by the young freshman. Left wing over to Gebauer. Gebauer drives against Foley. Good defense by her. Cuts her off. Now feed over to Dawson. Dawson drives down towards the baseline. Feeds it back out. Now back to Dawson, and she's going to be fouled on the floor by Carter. Carter kind of got tangled up with her feet and fouled. Also, that'd be second team foul on the Lady Indians, second on Carter.
Whole host of Indians with 2 fouls on them. Carter, O'Brien, Winter, Coombs, Watrick, and McCracken. No, McCracken only has 1.
Knocked out of bounds by Hutcherson, and that's going to be off of Jayhawk Lynn's. That goes back to the Indians as that is off of Koffel. Good job by Hutcherson poking that ball into Koffel, knocking it out of bounds. Hutcherson with the basketball for the Lady Indians, 47-15, 32-point lead for the Lady Indians. Off to Carter. Carter almost drug her foot up above the timeline over to Foley. And Foley travels as she got tangled up and had to switch her pivot feet without taking the dribble. Seen that one coming. She kind of got tangled up there on a pass as Carter really got in a little bit of trouble herself. Bounce pass over to Foley, so turnover on Indians. Give it back to Jayhawk Lynn. Feed into Tingler. Handoff back to Tingler into the lane. Layup no good, or shot from the block. Coombs chases it down. She steps on the baseline, so out on her. So it'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn as Nation checks in, a sophomore for Jayhawk Lynn.
That Sandness and Tingler, both really good players for Jayhawk Lynn.
Feed inside on the inbound to Wilson. Shot up, no good, but she's going to be fouled as I think O'Brien thought she had that shot blocked. And that's the third on Caitlin O'Brien. That's going to send Emily Winter back to the scores table for the Indians. 3:25 left to go in the third. 47-15. Indians up by 32. 2 shots by Wilson coming up from the free throw line. Her first is on the way and right through there and good. Winter checks in for O'Brien, who just picked up her third. Emily playing with 2 fouls herself.
That's first point for the Lady Jayhawks in this second half, third quarter.
Second shot up, no good. Coombs with the rebound. She can be tangled up there, tied up by Gebauer. And the jump ball change of possession arrow goes back to the Lady Indians.
That's one job I wouldn't want to have, is the possession arrow. It's too easy to screw that up.
Emily Hutcherson loses it, chased down by Foley. Foley reverses it back up to Winter, top of the key. Winter dribbles to her right, hits Carter on the cutter. Shot, off the rim, no good. Rebound, Jayhawk Lynn. And that's Gebauer coming down the floor hard. Feeds it to Dawson, up to Tingler. Tingler picked up out there by Hutcherson, up by the timeline, top of the key. Backdoor cut, layup, no good. As Carter got beat on the back door, and that's going to be a foul inside. Winter's going to be fouled, coming out of there with the rebound.
It's on Gebauer. If it is, that's her fourth. No, it's not. Okay.
And that's Winter's going to feed it into Hutcherson. 2:47 left to go here in the third. That is the first on Dawson. First team foul on Jayhawk Lynn. Pretty good defense when you're only allowed 16 points thus far and you're over halfway through the third quarter. Bad pass back out. It's going to be out on Jayhawk Lynn. I thought that was off of Hutcherson, but back out on Jayhawk Lynn. So it'll stay with the Indians. Carter set to put the ball in play. Bad pass by Carter. Dawson with the steal. She's going to be fouled by Hutcherson, and that's going to be Jayhawk Lynn basketball. 14 foul on the Indians. Second on Hutcherson.
I believe so.
Jayhawk Lynn basketball, and that's going to be a timeout by Jayhawk Lynn. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. Off the inbounds, out of Jayhawks timeout. Tingler hits it from the baseline. Now it's going to be a full court press applied by Jayhawk Lynn. So Coach Tuck rapidly sends O'Brien, Watrick, Rice, and McCracken all back into the game as Coombs will be the lone Indian stay on the floor to complete the 5 as full court man-to-man pressure applied by Jayhawk Lynn. Now feed by McCracken over the top of everybody.
Watrick, she thought Watrick was going to sprint out, and Watrick came back to the ball, and it just went over the head.
So bad pass by Sydney McCracken turns the ball right back over to Jayhawk Lynn. Comfortable lead for the Lady Indians, but you're going to have to be able to break that pressure in the future. Jayhawk Lynn basketball. Tingler with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. 29-point lead for the Lady Indians. Tingler now all the way to the lane. Layup good as Sydney McCracken gets beat on the back cut by Tingler. 2:08 left to go here in the third. 47-20. 27-point lead for the Lady Indians. Watrick counts on. Watrick gets tangled up for a minute. Now recovers. And that's going to be a timeout by Coach Tuck as he's not happy with what the Lady Indians are doing against this picked up pressure by Jayhawk Lynn. We'll go ahead and stay here during this 30-second timeout. This timeout brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. Pretty good game put together by the Lady Indians so far, Keith.
Yeah, they've definitely not came out in the third quarter like they had the first 2 quarters of the night, but just 8 points in this quarter for the Indians compared to 5 for the Jayhawk Lynn ladies. But that pressure's given them a little bit of trouble, and they got a little sloppy there on our end, and I think it was a wise call by Coach Tuck to kind of get them settled down a little bit.
Yeah, Jayhawk Lynn needed halftime to come. The Lady Indians had wished halftime never had come the way they was shooting. They'd just be happy, just keep right on rolling. St. Paul basketball out of timeout. Feed into Watrick from O'Brien. Back to O'Brien left wing. 1:53 left to go here in the third. Now Rice on the backdoor cut. Layup, good. Good job by the Lady Indians in themselves against that pressure, getting a backdoor cut. Dawson with the basketball. Off to the right wing. Gebauer, now stolen away by Winter. Winter comes down the left-hand side of the court. Tries to split 2 defenders. Shot, off the front of the rim. Katie Coombs gets the rebound. And it's going to be a foul on Jayhawk Lynn. I believe that's going to be on Dawson, number 15, second team foul. Only the second team foul on Jayhawk Lynn in the second half. Second on her. Watrick set to put the ball in play for the Indians under her own basket, 49-20, 29-point lead for the Lady Indians. 1:26 left to go in the third. Feed up top to Coombs, over to Winter, layup no good, short, wins her own rebound, kicks it out to O'Brien. Long 3-point shot, good! Caitlin O'Brien nails a long 3-pointer. Jayhawk Lynn, Beckman right back down with the basketball. Over to Gebauer. She feeds it to Nation, who gives it back to Beckman at left wing. Guarded out there by Watrick. Couple ball fakes, drives the baseline. Feeds it to Wilson. Now poked away by O'Brien. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to... It took him a little bit to make up his mind. But it's going to stay with Jayhawk Lynn, as I believe that was off of Caitlin O'Brien. Yeah, Sanders checks back into the game for Nation.
Caitlin O'Brien with 16 points on the night so far. That was her first points of the second half.
Beckman with the basketball, feeds it to Tingler. She's cut off by O'Brien. Good defense by her. Cuts her off up by the timeline now. Almost a steal as she fed it over to Gebauer. Gebauer cut off by Rice. Feeds it up to Beckman. Now to Tingler, who's guarded by O'Brien. Top of the key. Tingler with a big, long step to her right. Feeds it to Beckman. Now back to Tingler. Shot from the baseline's good.
That Tingler's a player, that's for sure.
Full court press applied by Jayhawk Lynn. Full court man-to-man. Now feeds it into Watrick. And now the Indians clear, or now Jayhawk Lynn clears out. And it's Watrick against Beckman as she gets set to cross half court. Feeds it off to Rice. Rice gets tipped up in the air by Tingler. Now the breakaway by Gebauer. Shot no good. Rebound Coombs. Coombs pushes it down the floor. Bounce pass over to Watrick. Layup. Oh, blocked. Wow. That's a shot at the buzzer. That could have been a foul all over the place, but it wasn't. So a 30-point lead here at the end of 3. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Timeout brought to you by St. Paul's Supermarket. Our title sponsor is Farmers Bank, as the Lady Indians are rolling here tonight, 52-22. Not too many points scored by the Lady Indians in that third quarter, so their shooting has cooled off a little bit, but they have still built on that lead and now lead by 30 going into the fourth. It will be Jayhawk Lynn basketball to start this fourth quarter. Beckman gets set to feed it into Tingler. Tingler guarded out above the timeline by Caitlin O'Brien, and that's going to be a move and screen set by Sandus. They could have called that a few times tonight, but they finally do. So
St. Paul just had 15 points, which is actually not a bad quarter, Dan, but after they scored 19 and 20 first and second quarter.
Oh, I was thinking it was 49. It was 39?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. I'll retract that. Not as good as third quarter. Watrick with the basketball above the timeline.
St. Paul came out flat, that was for sure. But
feeds it to Winter inside O'Brien. Turnaround 10-foot shot off the backboard too hard. Tingler with the rebound for Jayhawk Lynn. She pushes the ball back down the right side, cuts back to the top of the key. Now Beckman, left-handed three-point shot, no good. Watrick comes out there with it. She feeds it ahead to Coombs. Coombs down to the right-handed layup. Good. Katie Coombs converts on the layup. 54-22. Indians up by 32. Beckman feeds it to the right wing. Ball's on the floor. Hutcherson ties up. Jump ball possession will go to the Lady Indians as she ties up Koffel as McCracken and Carter check back into the game for the Lady Indians. For O'Brien and Winter, who's both had an excellent game here tonight.
O'Brien, like I say, with 16 points on the night. Emily Winter with 12.
Watrick with the basketball for the Lady Indians. To the right elbow, kicks it out to Carter, who feeds it to McCracken. McCracken into the lane, kicks it out to Watrick, now to Coombs. Work it around the horn. Now Hutcherson into the lane. Layup no good. Rebound, Jayhawk Lynn. Tingler with the basketball. 6 minutes left to go in the game. Indians up by 32. Beckman now feeds it back to Tingler. She looks inside with the ball over her head, gives it to Pointer. Pointer drives the baseline. Contested shot by Coombs. Rebound as she misses it, and Carter with the rebound for the Lady Indians. Watrick with the basketball for the Lady Indians, up by the timeline, taking her time, bringing the ball down against Beckman. Over to Coombs, to McCracken. Indians been very patient here with this nice lead. Now Coombs in at the block, loses it. Ball's on the floor. Hutcherson and Tingler is going to be a tie-up, so it's going to go to Jayhawk Lynn on that tie-up as Gebauer checks back into the game for Beckman. Jayhawk Lynn basketball, 5:12 left to go in the game, 54-22, 32-point lead for the Lady Indians. Tingler with the ball guarded by Carter. Carter doing a good job moving her feet, playing good defense, and that's going to be a foul on Hutcherson, I believe.
When the Jayhawks inbounded that ball, they kind of let it drift, so she's going to pick it up to save some time on the clock, but the clock's running, so it didn't really help anything.
Actually, that foul was on Katie Carter, her third, 15 foul. Yeah, I noticed that too, Keith. She was letting the ball roll down the court, but with a 30-point lead, the clock runs continuous. So, let's see, that's going to be knocked out of bounds by the Indians. That'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
Indians have been really good defense on the inbounds tonight.
Jayhawk Lynn feeds it in, finally gets it into Sandness. Now back up top. Out to Tingler, three-point shot by her. Wow. Good. Tingler, a pretty good ball player.
She sure is. She's got 16 on the night.
Now Hutcherson, the ball's going to be off her hands. It's going to go back to Jayhawk Lynn on the turnover as Watrick tries to feed it into Hutcherson. It went off her hands and out of bounds. 4:01 left to go in the game. 54-25. Indians lead by 29. Feed over the top. Ball's on the floor. Carter comes out there with it. Now she gets it off to McCracken. Contact with Tingler, but no call. Feeds it back to Hutcherson. Now over to Watrick. Watrick looks inside, drives the baseline against Gebauer, and Gebauer's going to foul her. She's going to be fouled. 14 foul. This will be Indians' ball under their basket. As Foley checks in, as well as Coleman, junior for Jayhawk Lynn.
That's 4 fouls on Gebauer, but at this point in the game, it's really not a factor.
Watrick feeds it into Coombs, drives into the lane, a lot of contact, no call, gets her own rebound, tries to put it back up, loses it. Ball's on the floor. Now Foley has it. She dribbles out there. Good job by her. Now McCracken feeds it to Watrick, down on the baseline, out to Coombs. 13-footer on the way, short, no good. Rebound Tingler for Jayhawk Lynn. Tingler all the way down, nice feed inside, layup missed. Rebound Gebauer, put back, good. A good job on the offensive boards by Jayhawk Lynn. 54-27, Indians lead. Carter with the basketball, feeds it back to Foley. Foley over to Watrick up above the timeline. Now down to McCracken. She looks inside at Coombs. She's guarded heavily there by Coleman. So she kicks it into Foley on the cut. Foley kicks it back out to Watrick. 3-point shot by her. Long, no good. Carter fights for the rebound, but Gebauer for Jayhawk Lynn comes down with it. Gebauer back with the basketball. Tingler, 3-point shot. Short, no good. And that's going to be foul. Must be on the Lady Indians somewhere. And that is going to be on McCracken, I believe. 16 foul on the Lady Indians. Yes,
They're sure calling that under the basket. A little bit more tonight than you see normally.
Yeah, on defensive rebounds, you generally don't see that many fouls called on box out. So a lot of subs in the game for Jayhawk Lynn. Shot from the left elbow off the rim, short, no good. Coombs comes out there with it. Feeds it off to Watrick. 1:40 left to go in the game. Indians at 54-27. Watrick bumped out there by Gebauer. No call. Feeds it off to McCracken at the baseline. McCracken drives the baseline. Little bunny shot. No good. Who the heck's a charge on? A charge called. And, it's going to be on Watrick on a moving screen. McCracken thought it was on her, too. She couldn't believe it, and I couldn't either. But Watrick must have cleared the path for her a little bit. I didn't see it. Either way, third on Taylor Watrick. Coleman feeds it back to Dawson, and she's going to be fouled. That's going to send her line sheet to 1-1. In a normal, closer game, you don't want to be stopping the clock when you got a lead, but in this case, it doesn't matter a whole lot. 54-27, 45 seconds left to go in the game. Clock running. First shot on the 1-1 on the way, no good. Coombs with the rebound, feeds it back to Watrick as she walks the ball up the floor with 35 seconds left to go in the game. Innies lead 54-27. She crosses over against Gebauer a couple times, feeds it to McCracken above the timeline. 19 seconds left. Feeds it to Foley. Foley up top to Watrick. Watrick guarded by Gebauer, and she's going to be fouled out there. And that's just going to be the 15th foul on Jayhawk Lynn.
She's out, I believe.
Fifth on Gebauer, and that's going to bring the game to a close. Lady Indians come out with a nice league victory, 54-27 against Jayhawk Lynn. We'll be back with our KW Trucking postgame show and our D-Rail Commodity Player of the Game after this 2-minute timeout. Here's the St. Paul basketball on Hot 105.
Is that right? St. Paul only scored two points in the whole fourth quarter. Sorry.
Welcome back to Billy Faker Fieldhouse as St. Paul comes out with a nice victory here in Three Rivers game, 54-27 over Jayhawk Lynn. As you are listening to our KW Trucking postgame show, shortly Keith and I will have your D-Rail Commodity Player of the Game. Pretty good game put together by the Lady Indians tonight, Keith.
Yeah, they really, that first half especially, shots were so clean. They were knocking everything down. They slowed down a little bit in third quarter, not much. And then fourth quarter, of course, like you said, with the running clock, only scored 2 points in that whole fourth quarter. And but still way on top, 54-27. Jayhawk Lynn, they had 7 and 8 points in the first and second quarter, 7 in the third. So they were pretty even as well. And then they ended up with 5 in the fourth quarter, just not able to put anything together offensively against these attacking Indian defense, man. They were just really on it tonight.
Really led in that first half by the hot shooting by the Lady Indians. That shooting dropped off just a little bit, but not a whole lot. The Indians still shot 48% from the field for the night. You'll take that any night of the week, and especially with not too many turnovers. So good job by the Lady Indians here at home tonight in a Three Rivers game. Well, hopefully the boys can follow that up against a very good Jayhawk Lynn boys team here. So we get set as there's about 11 minutes on the clock here before the next game, in a nice home game for the Indians here on a Tuesday night. They'll travel one more game in their last 6, go to Altoona on Friday. So it'd be nice to come out with a couple victories here tonight and go on the road to Altoona here Friday night. And the Three Rivers as the league play really gets fired up in the last week or two of the season, Keith.
Yeah, and Indians would love to have that crown. I didn't get a chance to check to see who was leading the last moment. I should have checked K-Preps, but I'll tell you one thing, the crown is nice for the league, but it's sub-state you really want to take that trophy home, because then gets you a chip out to Hayes.
Yeah, you really want to start gaining momentum down the stretch here. The Indians, quite honestly, have shot and played pretty sluggish from the field here, so they look to see if we can pick that up. It's really been led by a couple games ago when they shot so many three-pointers and couldn't make too many, which really led to a defeat against Northeast. So in that game they shot a load of three-pointers, 30-some three-pointers on the night. And you hear the old adage, you live and die by that three. You don't make very many, and you're probably going to die by it. But if you come out and hit them, you'll probably do all right.
After being off Monday, it looked like in the JV game the boys came out a little flat, but man, these girls, they came out. I think it was Emily Winter, 2 quick three-pointers just like that, and Caitlin O'Brien popping 1 too. So
you're listening to D-Rail Commodity, KW Trucking postgame show. You're going to get the D-Rail Commodity Player of the Game. We'll come back from this next break. This next timeout is brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. Keith's going to have stats after this next 2-minute timeout. You're with St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Who you want to go with player of the game, Keith?
Caitlin O'Brien at 16 points. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, Emily Winter had a heck of a first half. Yeah. She played real well tonight, too. So
I think I'd give it to her. She had a lot of rebounds and some good offense.
Well, thank everybody for listening online. as Keith and I are going to have your stats here for the for the KW Trucking post-game show, and our D-Rail commodity will give you first shot at it. It's going to be Emily Winter is going to be our D-Rail player of the game. 13 points on the night, but it wasn't just that. She was a lot of offensive, defensive rebounds for the Lady Indians, led from her good defense. So Emily Winter, the senior, will be our D-Rail commodity player of the game. Oh, welcome back to Billy Fager Fieldhouse. Dan Vitt alongside Keith Smith here tonight. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. Our post-game shows brought to you by KW Trucking, and Keith and I conversed over the break, and Emily Winter is going to be our D-Rail commodity player of the game. 13 points on the night, but really played real good defense, a lot of offensive, defensive rebounds on the night. What do you got for scoring across the board, Keith?
Well, taking a look at what St. Paul's done, of course, they end up with 54 points on the night. Both of that scored in the first 3 quarters, just only 2 points in that fourth quarter. But leading the way for the Indians was Caitlin O'Brien with 16. Then you have Emily Winter at 13. Let me check that. 12, I'm sorry. 12 points. Katie Coombs with 4. Then Sydney McCracken with 7, Taylor Watrick with 2, and Sydney Rice really came on scoreless in that first quarter, but came on in the second and third quarters with 12 points for the Indians, so a total of 54.
And Rice was 6 for 6 from the field, and it was all 2-point shots, so really good shooting by her on them 12 points. Should have shot the ball a little more, shooting 100%. Now mostly in the second half on some good drives down the lane. Indians finished up the game shooting 48% from the field, and they actually shot 50% from three-point land. So they not very often see a stat where they shoot better from three-point land. They do from as far as leads their totals from on the floor. They were 11 for 13, 84% from the free throw line, not too bad from the free throw line. They did end up with 13 turnovers on the night and a total of 26 rebounds. So good stats across the board for the Lady Indians, as we're going to roll right in after this break into our Richie's Pharmacy pregame show as the boys get set to take on Jayhawk Lynn. We'll be back after the next 2-minute timeout with St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Hey, Marissa, I'll holler at you when we get back, okay? All right, we're back, Marissa. I'm back. Thanks. Oh, welcome back to our Richie's Pharmacy pregame show as the boys get set to take on Jayhawk Lynn. It's going to be a tough matchup for the boys. I know Jayhawk Lynn led by 6'4" senior Brandon Gray, so the Indians be interested what kind of matchup they come against Gray defensively, try to slow him down. He is going to be the leader for Jayhawk Lynn, or at least we expect he will be. A big offensive, defensive threat. A good stature, 6'4", good-sized basketball player. A couple 6'4" players on Jayhawk Lynn as we get set to go over starting lineups here as get you set for this game between Jayhawk Lynn and St. Paul boys here in Billy Fager Fieldhouse.
Tell you what, we want to shout out to all our sponsors, Dan. They get this game to you both on YouTube and over the air on Hot 105.5 because that's one thing that I talk to people about, why does St. Paul get coverage on these radio stations when some of the other towns don't? It's because the sponsors step up, and you couldn't ask for a better group of sponsors here in St. Paul. I know a lot of the same people bucked up to put that practice track in for the Indians as well. So St. Paul got a lot of good things going on in this town, and I'll tell you what, it's just a nice feeling. For sure.
We've got a lot of great sponsors in St. Paul, and not just the ones you hear us talk about on the radio. You'll hear them during commercial times. A lot don't get mentioned here. There's just all kinds of support as we get set to go over starting lineups here with Jayhawk Lynn and St. Paul. Invite everybody, if you want to stream live or if you have access to the internet, to 1055.net. And click on the St. Paul Indian banner, and it should take you right to a YouTube live stream, and it should say live on there. It should say St. Paul versus Jayhawk Lynn. And click on that. You should be streaming us live. It'll be about a 10-second delay, so you want to make sure you listen to the audio on the live stream. Broyles, a 6'1" junior, gets to start for Jayhawk Lynn. Brandon Doherty, the senior, gets to start for the Indians. Number 5, Barrett, a 6' junior, gets to start for Jayhawk Lynn. For St. Paul, 5'9", Caleb Pekka will get to start for the Indians. For Jayhawk Lynn, number 12, a senior, 6'4", Brandon Gray gets to start for Jayhawk Lynn. And for the Indians, senior, number 22, Braven Bourne. And for Jayhawk Lynn, number 14, Brance Ware, a 6'1" sophomore. A lot of size across the board for Jayhawk Lynn, long and lengthy. 23, Caney Haney, speaking of long and lanky, Caney Haney, the junior, gets to start for the Indians. And for the Jayhawk Lynn, Harley Stone, a 5'10" senior, gets to start. And last but not least, number 50, Anthony Albertini will get to start for the Indians as we get you set for our Styles Fitness and More tip-off.
Tell you what, these tall kids for Jayhawk Lynn not only are tall, but they're developed. You don't see a real string being among them. They look athletic as well.
We'll see how this game gets started here in just a second as we get set. I want to thank Keith for joining me here at Color and doing stats for us here tonight. Tonight, the stats are brought to you by the Gospel According to Keith. They will be as accurate as he can keep. We'll do the best we can here as kind of get a double backup. Adam Burke, the assistant coach for St. Paul, always emails me stats along the way. Keith also kept, but he was fairly accurate. I think he only shorted Emily Winter 1 point, according to Adam Burke. Besides that, it was pretty good, Keith.
Yep, I'll tell you what, a plus or minus 25 is what I always say.
Plus or minus 25. Kenny Haney set the jump center as we get set for our Styles Fitness More against Brandon Gray, the 6'4" senior. So there are 8 minutes on the clock, and here is the Styles Fitness More tip-off controlled by Jayhawk Lynn.
And that senior, he just went way up and pushed that ball out.
Broyles feeds it off to the right wing to Barrett. Barrett cross court pass back to Broyles. Now back up top to number 20, Stone. Stone back to Barrett. Feet inside to Gray. Now to the baseline. Jump shot on its way. Short, no good. Rebound, Kayla Pekka. Pekka pushes the ball up the floor for the Indians. Right wing. Goes back up above the timeline. Guarded up there high by Stone, the senior. Now Haney with the ball at right wing. He's cut off by Gray. Now Pekka into Albertini, and he loses it out of bounds. It'll go back to Jayhawk Lynn as Albertini loses the ball out of bounds. Looked like Pekka had a lane to drive. Tries to feed it into traffic into Albertini. He loses it out of bounds. So back to Jayhawk Lynn. Broyles with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. A little double team coming out top zone, 2-3 zone. And now it's going to be kicked by Doherty.
Good defense there by
Brandon
Brandon Doherty.
To Jayhawk Lynn. As 2-3 zone applied by the Indian boys here. Stone set to put the ball in play and does feed it into the backcourt to Broyles. It'll be Doherty and Bourne up top on this 2-3 zone. Down to the baseline. Fed to Ware. Ware to Stone. Back to Ware at the baseline. Looks in at Gray. He's guarded in there by Albertini. Now to Stone. Now back up top to Barrett. Way out extended on their offense. Way out beyond the three-point line. Now long three-pointer on the way and good by Barrett as he gets Jayhawk Lynn on the board, and they lead 3-0. 6:30 left to go here in the first. Indians yet to get on the board here. Pekka with the basketball, guarded by Stone. Feeds it to Haney. Haney, three-pointer from the top of the key, way long, no good. Pekka with the rebound, put back, no good. Knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be off of Pekka as Pekka couldn't convert on the rebound.
Kind of interesting. They've got Caleb Pekka down on the baseline and Brendan Doherty out front, the tallest player up front and the shortest player down on the baseline for this 2-3 zone.
Broyles with the basketball, crosses half court, feeds it off to Stone. Now to the baseline, now three-pointer by Gray, in and out, no good. Rebound, Caleb Pekka. Pekka already 3 rebounds on the night. Gives it off to Bourne. Bourne feeds it back to Pekka, drives in the lane, kicks out to Haney. Another three-pointer by him, long, no good. So the Indians' offense so far has been three-point shots and to no avail, cannot connect. Jayhawk Lynn with the basketball. Gray, feet inside, back out. Another three-pointer on the way, and good.
He's on tonight.
Barrett is 2 for 2 from three-point land, so the polar opposite between him and Haney. As Jayhawk Lynn lead 6-0 early on here in this ballgame. Doherty with the basketball. A lot of contact up top. Into the lane goes Doherty and loses off his own leg and out of bounds. Right back over to Jayhawk Lynn. So sluggish start by the Indian boys here.
Doherty just looked like he had hands of stone on that drive. Just couldn't really bring that basketball under control.
Broyles with the basketball. Feeds it to Gray. Bounce pass inside. Now back out. Another long Barrett. Three-point shot.
Yep.
Good.
Wow, you can see that one going in and off his hands.
9-0. Jayhawk Lynn leads. Barrett feeling it. He did not even hesitate taking that shot. And Doherty loses it again. Gray all the way down with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. Layup no good. Pekka with the rebound. And Gray goes in the wall, and not very often do they blow the play dead on a fast break just because somebody falls down on the other end.
Yeah, I think that was a inadvertent whistle or something. Coach Watrix wanted to talk to him and say, hey, how can you take those 2 points away from us?
The Indians on a fast break opportunity as Gray misses the layup, goes into the wall, and just land down there on the floor. Usually they do not blow it dead until the same team that has a player down gets possession of the basketball. But all 9 points by Barrett here, and the Indians unable to score yet. Pekka with the basketball, picks up his dribble, gets it off to Haney. Extended man-to-man pressure by Jayhawk Lynn. Doherty with the basketball. Bumped by Gray. Boy, a lot of contact. No calls yet. Bourne with the basketball. Pekka swings it back to Doherty. He's guarded by Gray. Now over the back. Foul on Broyles. That's going to be our first foul of the game. First on him. First team foul on Jayhawk Lynn. Haney set to put the ball in play for the Indians under the basket. They're lined up across the free throw line. Feet up top to Pekka. Pekka feeds it to Doherty. Back to Pekka, over to Bourne, now to Haney. Haney back to Bourne. The Indians held scoreless first 4 minutes of this game, 9-0. Jayhawk Lynn. Indians offense remains stagnant. Bourne with the basketball.
Keep moving the ball around, but they can't get any penetration at all.
Being very patient here. Doherty with the basketball. Crosses over a couple times. Now into the lane he goes. Blocked by Gray from the backside. No whistle again. Royals with the ball.
I thought he double dribbled there, but
knocked out of bounds by Pekka. It'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn.
There's just not a lot of action other than those three-pointers by Gray for Jayhawk.
Stone with the basketball. Feeds it back into Broyles. Broyles above the timeline, guarded by Bourne. Still a 2-3 zone applied by the Indians. Barrett, free throw line, now kicks it out to Broyles. Three-point shot of his own, in and out, no good. Tipped out by Pekka to Albertini. Bourne with the basketball for the Indians. Feeds it off to Doherty. Long three-pointer by him. Good. Brendan Doherty gets the Indians on the board. 9-3. 6-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. 3:14 left to go here in the first. Gray with the basketball, guarded by Haney. Gray tries to dribble to the free throw line. Kicks it back out to Broyles. Now over to Stone. Now Gray with it. Into the lane. Euro step. Wild shot. No good. And he's going to be fouled on the floor.
I thought that was about anybody's ball.
That's going to be Anthony Albertini with the foul. His first. Team foul number 1 on the Indians. Stone set to put the ball in play. Looking. Feeds it way up top. Now Pekka with the steal. Pekka down. Guarded closely. Layup. Good. Good job by him. He was guarded by Barrett. 9-5. Jayhawk Lynn up by 4. 2:45 left to go here in the first. Royals with the ball. Pestered out there by Pekka. Gets it off to Ware. Ware to Stone. Stone guarded by Doherty. Now man-to-man defense applied by the Indians. Ware with the basketball. Barrett, three-point shot. Well short this time. Doherty kind of rushed that one. Doherty with the rebound, and back down the floor he comes. All the way into the lane. Layup, no good, but he's fouled. He's going to be fouled by Broyles, I believe, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Whistle was late on that one, Dan. I didn't think they were going to call that one either.
As number 13, Levitt, 6'4" senior, checks in, as well as Easton Dent for Jayhawk Lynn. Easton Dent for the Indians. At the scorer's table anyway. They'll have to wait till Doherty shoots his first of 2, as well as Lemons and also Adam Albertini all check in for the Indians. So
quite a bit shorter here.
Anthony Albertini, Kenny Haney, and Braven Bourne come out for a little break. 2:17 left to go in the first. Indians trail by 4. Doherty misses his first. He's at the line to shoot the second. Second free throw on the way and right through there and good. Ware with the basketball for Jayhawk Lynn. 9-6. Indians trail by 3. Over to Stone at left wing. Doherty has to guard Gray. Double teamed. Turnaround shot no good. Doherty with the rebound. Good double team by Pekka helping Doherty. Doherty feeds it out to Adam Albertini. Shot from the elbow. Short. No good. Rebound Gray. Poked from behind by Lemons. Good hustle by him. Poked out of his hands. So it'll stay with Jayhawk Lynn. Jayhawk Lynn leads 9-6. 1:47 left to go here in the first. As Bourne checks right back in for Caleb Pekka.
You know, when Gray came out and shot those first 9 points, you thought this was going to be a runaway, but they've settled down now. St. Paul's defense has kind of kept them in check a little bit.
Ware feeds it in to Levitt. Now back out to Barrett, who has all 9 of Jayhawk Lynn's points. Gray holds the ball over his head. Back to Ware. Looks inside to Levitt. Feed it to Gray up above the three-point line. Guarded out there by Doherty. Couple ball fakes. Cross court tipped by Albertini, but Ware ends up with it. Back to Stone at left wing. Looks inside. Now kicks it out. Across the lane as Barrett feeds it into Gray. Baseline. Guarded by Dent. Oh, what a late call that was. He was caught way underneath the backboard, was Gray. A couple ball fakes and a late call gets Dent for the foul, and I'm not sure about that one. As much as they've let go, that was pretty weak foul just for Gray to get the call because he's too far under the backboard, but Gray goes the line to shoot 2. Gray's first free throw is good, so he gets on the board for the first time tonight as Jayhawk land has been led by Barrett, 3 for 4 from three-point land. 9 of their 10 points as Gray settles in for a second. Jayhawk lands leads 10-6. Second shot by Gray is short, no good. Doherty with the rebound. 4-point lead for Jayhawk land. Now a trap at half court. Bourne with the basketball all the way to the rim. Contact, so he'll go to the line to shoot. See who this is on. It's either on Gray or Levitt. We'll see which one. And that is going to be on Levitt, the 6'4 senior. That's the third team foul on Jayhawk land. Bourne at the free throw line to shoot 2. First one on its way. Gets it to go as Pekka checks back in for Doherty. Bourne settles in for his second. It's on its way and right through there. 2-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn, 10-8. Jayhawk Lynn led 9-0 here, so the Indians doing a pretty good job defensively here lately with under a minute to go here in the first. It was 4 minutes into the first quarter before the Indians, under 4 minutes before the Indians scored. So
I think they've got Adam Albertini out on Gray and shut him down, but
Barrett's three-point shot no good. Lemons with a rebound. Lemons pushes the ball back down. And number 11 Albertini to inside to Pekka, loses it for a minute. Couple ball fakes, throws up a wild shot, can't get it to go. Gray with the rebound for Jayhawk Lynn. And now he gets it off to Broyles. Broyles guarded out there by Lemons, swings it over to Levitt, now back up top to Gray. He's guarded by Pekka, so it's going to be a big job inside by Pekka. 5'9" against 6'4". Definitely going to have some weak side help. Backdoor cut to Gray off of Pekka, and he scores.
You saw that one coming, didn't you?
Lemons, long three-pointer at the buzzer, short, and at the end of one, 12-8. Jayhawk Lynn up by 4. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout. You're with St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back after that timeout, brought to you by St. Paul's Supermarket. Started the second quarter. St. Paul with the basketball. They trail by 4. Lemons feeds it to Albertini. Now feed inside to Doherty. Layup.
Oh, it's going to be offensive push-off on Doherty, I think, with the elbow.
Doherty with the charge. Boy, wish we had this on the live stream so I could see if he really did. Full court press applied by the Indians. Feed to Levitt over the top of his head and out of bounds. So turnover on Jayhawk Land, gives it back to the Indians. Good inbounds play. I'll start that second quarter into Doherty. Doherty got charged with the offensive foul, his first, as Gray is on Doherty. Pekka with the basketball. Cross court pass over to Bourne. Bourne dribbles to his left. Crosses over against Levitt. Now into the lane. Now they're going to call 3 seconds on the Indians.
Wow, we're just not getting any breaks as far as the calls go tonight. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not good calls. It's just that seems like St. Paul's not getting the brakes on them.
Broyles, Stone, full court press applied by the Indians. Back to Broyles. Picks up his dribble, back to Stone. Stone up above the timeline, trapped out there, gets it to Gray. Gray thought about the three-pointer, passed on it, feeds it back to Stone. Man-to-man defense, now Bourne's on Gray, so need to be careful here. Gray's going to have the height advantage. He's going to need some help in there.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do a cut with
Stone
Gray.
at left wing, feed over the top, and that's going to be a foul on Bourne.
Oh. Huh.
That'll be team foul number 4 on the Indians, first on Bourne. Bourne probably didn't quite need to make that much contact on Gray. Now Stone finally feeds it into Levitt. Levitt guarded by Adam Albertini. He picks up his dribble. Now he's in a little trouble. The count's on. Finally, he gets it off to Levitt. That wasn't Levitt. That was Ware with the ball. Stone now drives in the lane, tries to bounce pass. Stolen away by Pekka. Pekka pushes the ball up the floor, feeds it to Adam Albertini. Into the elbow, over to Lemons. Three-point shot from the left baseline. Off the rim, no good. Out of bounds off of the Indians. It'll go back to Jayhawk Lynn. 14 fouls on the Indians, 3 on Jayhawk Lynn. Jayhawk Lynn leads 12-8, 6:35 left to go here in the first half.
Just no offense
Feed
at
to
all.
Levitt. Levitt back to Stone. Double teamed over there in the corner, in a little trouble, and tries to bounce.
Wow.
What was the call? Oh, timeout. They grant a timeout to Jayhawk Lynn.
I thought that was a foul.
the bad part is Stone had the basketball. He tried to bounce it off the Indians, so I don't know how in the world they get a timeout when he didn't even have possession of the basketball, but she granted them the timeout. We'll go ahead and stay here. 12-8, Jayhawk Lynn up by 4. So the Indians trap defense causing a little bit of trouble for Jayhawk Lynn. We'll see if they continue to do this. Want to make sure they stay out of foul trouble here. No foul trouble so far yet. Some things are letting go pretty good, and other things are calling pretty close. Gray's got a couple calls underneath the rim as Haney checks back into the game, so he'll be on Brandon Gray, the offensive weapon for Jayhawk Lynn, one of the offensive weapons. Barrett with 9 of the Jayhawk Lynn's 12 points. Gray with the basketball, drives against Haney, into the lane, shot from the block, good. 16-8. Jayhawk Lynn up by 6, excuse me. Doherty, long three-pointer of his own, short, no good. Haney with the rebound, feeds it back to Lemons. Lemons into Bourne, little floater, long off the rim. Haney with the rebound, gets it swatted away. Doherty, put back is good. Now a little man-to-man pressure. Back to Gray. Gray pushes the ball up the floor to the elbow. Picked up by Haney. Now he feeds it back to Broyles. Man-to-man defense applied by the Indians. Over to Stone. Stone into Gray. He's swatted away, but Ware comes out of there with it. Back to Stone at left wing. Looks inside for Gray. Now Levitt with the basketball poked away from Doherty, but back to Jayhawk Lynn.
I thought Levitt had a step there, but
5:31 left to go in the first half. 14-10. Jayhawk Lynn up by 4. Ware with the basketball into Stone. Stone in traffic. He's going to travel with the basketball.
How about the first break St. Paul's got on a call right there, Dan?
As Barrett checks back into the game for Levitt. So Jayhawk Lynn so far just 6 deep. So actually Indians maybe a little bit deeper on the bench than Jayhawk Lynn. Indians trying to cut into this 4-point lead by Jayhawk Lynn. Pekka with the basketball above the timeline, feeds it off to Bourne. Bourne looks down to corner, now looks in at Haney, now dribbles towards timeline, now gives it to Doherty, out to Pekka, over to Bourne. Bourne into the lane, floater on the way, in and out, no good. Gray with the rebound. Bourne usually hits them shots. Nice floater on the way by him, just couldn't quite get it to go. 4:48 left to go in the first half. Gray, long three-point shot, no good. Bourne comes down with it. Bourne pushes the ball across half court, over to Lemons. Lemons swings it to Bourne, now over to Doherty. He guarded by Stone, need to get him in on the post. He got a height advantage against Stone. Now back out to Bourne, now to Doherty. Doherty, couple ball fakes on Stone, dribbles in, kicks out to Lemons, three-point shot left wing, off, and into off of Gray, so it'll stay with the Indians. A couple of Indians had a shot at it there. Couldn't get the handle on it, but it went off of Gray. Haney set to put the ball in play for the Indians under their own basket. 4:16 left to go in the first half. Indians trail by 4, 14-10. Haney looks, feeds it over the top to the Lemons. Above the timeline. Bounce pass into Haney. Now out to Doherty. Sets his feet. Three-point shot off. No good. Pekka with the rebound. He dribbles out of there. Kicks it up to Lemons. Lemons in the free throw line. Out to Bourne. Long three-pointer of his own. High off the rim. No good. Doherty fights for the rebound. Now Lemons with it.
St. Paul doing a great job on that offensive board right there.
Pekka with the basketball. Feeds it back to Bourne. Into the lane again. Left-hand layup. No good. Haney fights for it. Tips it out to Pekka. Now to Doherty. Doherty loses it. Feeds it to Bourne from the baseline. Short, no good. And out to Jayhawk Lynn. So the Indians are going to get yet another chance.
St. Paul just cannot finish in there. I mean, they had some good looks, good shots. It's either.
This is like the 7th chance on this offensive possession, and that's not an exaggeration.
I can see the tentativeness. They go up under the basket because they feel they're going to get blocked by this tall Jayhawk Lynn kids.
Haney at the baseline, guarded by Gregg. Cross-court pass over to Lemons. Long three-pointer from the left wing. Off, no good. Rebound Gray for Jayhawk Lynn, so the Indians ice cold, shooting them threes. Gray with the basketball. Feeds it back up top. Over to Stone. Stone to Ware. Lob inside to Gray. Double team down there right in front of the rim. Turnaround shot good. Looked like he got away with the travel. 6-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. 16-10. As Gray starting to now Euro step by Haney. Step back shot by Bourne. No good. Rebound Jayhawk Lynn. Ware with the rebound. Feeds it off to Gray. Gray pushes the ball down. Now the ball's loose on the floor. Somehow he comes out of there with it. Feeds it back to Ware. Ware feeds it to Broyles. Broyles to Stone. 2:38 left to go in the first. Almost a steal by Lemons. Back to Broyles. Gives it to Gray. Gray into Ware. Ware's shot. Oh, man, that was all ball by Lemons. But
it must have been on the body because, yeah, it was totally all ball.
I'm not sure that was on Lemons. I guess it was on Lemons, and it looked like he had all basketball on that. As Ware goes the line to shoot two. Jayhawk Lynn leads by 6, 16-10 on another cold shooting night by the Indians so far.
Yeah, they're talking about it. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, the play stopped now. How come he can't go in there? You stopped it. 2 shots by Ware, so it really doesn't matter. Ware's first shot on its way off the rim, no good. Now Caleb Pekka can get in there as Adam Albertini, Anthony Albertini, and Easton Dent all check in for the Indians. Doherty and Bourne stay in with Dent, Albertini, and Albertini.
I can tell you that Easton Dent, he sure is a workhorse under the basket. He knows where to set his feet.
Second shot by Ware on its way, no good. Could have been an over the back call, following Broyles, but no call. Albertini with the ball, left wing. Bounce pass over to Doherty, now to Bourne. Bourne back to Doherty, over to Albertini. Another three-point shot on the way by the Indians. Off the rim, no good. And it stays with the Indians as that got tipped out by Ware. Albertini with the basketball under the rim for the Indians. Tries to feed it in, does to Doherty. Doherty to Anthony Albertini. Feeds it back to Doherty. Guarded by Broyles. Height advantage for Doherty. Needs to get in on the post. Tries to drive inside. Tipped out of bounds by Ware. So to stay with the Indians again with under 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. Indians trail 16-10.
With about 8 attempts on the three-pointers, Indians hit 2 of those. This game's tied.
Doherty with the basketball above the timeline. Man-to-man defense, kind of a sagging man-to-man. I don't know why we don't clear out the lane and put Doherty in there on the post against Broyles. He's got like a foot advantage. Good shot by Bourne. Good drive by Braven Bourne, and he converts, and he's fouled. So he'll go to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play as he is fouled by Broyles. fourth team foul. Third, is that really the third on Boros?
Oh, wow.
My goodness. He's got 3 of the 4 team fouls for Jayhawk Lynn, and Bourne misses the free throw. Gray with the rebound, 16-12. And feed down is stolen by, now back ahead to Doherty. Doherty, reverse layup, good. Gray just letting go, didn't want to pick up a second foul. Royals with the basketball, 2-point ball game. Indians trying to fight their way back into this one. 16-14, Gray with the basketball guarded by Doherty. Loses it for a minute. Now he's double teamed, and a bad pass by Gray, stolen by Anthony Albertini. Bourne with the basketball. Indians with a chance to take the lead or tie, and a bad pass by Adam Albertini, and Gray steps right in there and steals it.
I'm just getting ready to say Jayhawk Lynn shooting themselves in the foot, allowing St. Paul to get back in this thing, and St. Paul does the same thing.
Gray with the three-point shot by Barrett. He connects. 19-14. It was a 2-point game. Now it's 5. Doherty with the basketball, drives into the lane, kicks it out to Bourne. Now back to Doherty, sets his feet, three-pointer on the way, long, no good. Gray with the rebound. 34 seconds left to go in the first half, and a poke and a steal by Doherty, and that could have been a foul. He gets away with one there. And a timeout by Watrick with 26.4 seconds left to go, 19-16. Indians trail by 3 as Jayhawk Lynn coach not happy with a no call there, and I don't really blame him. Doherty got a lot of body with that. Doherty's long arm poked it away from Gray. 30-second timeout by Coach Watrick here with about 25 seconds left to go here in the first half. Pretty good first half, just cold shooting by the Indians, Keith.
Yeah, like I said, one of those layups we finish on or a three-pointer in this game. Actually, St. Paul would have a lead at that time. But if they can find out what they need to hit those baskets and get after it for the second half, they could take advantage of this. I think Jayhawk Lynn also went a little cold that second quarter. I think St. Paul's defense stepped up a little bit there, Dan.
Barrett with 12, and Jayhawk Lynn's 19 points, I believe. I think he has 4 3-pointers as his scoring on the night. As Jayhawk Lynn basketball, 26 seconds left to go here in the first half. Stick around for our St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show coming up here in about 20 seconds. Pekka on Gray out here above the timeline. Indian's going to sag down that man-to-man. Now he picks up his dribble. Gets it off to Ware. Now backdoor cut by Stone. And he traveled. Yeah, double dribble, whatever you want to call it. 10 seconds left to go, so the Indians have a shot here with 10 seconds left to go as Doherty comes back in for Anthony Albertini.
Barrett and Gray are the only people that have scored for the Jayhawk Lynn.
Yeah, Barrett has 12 and Gray has 7, I'm going to assume.
St. Paul not much better. Pekka, Doherty, and Braven Bourne the only ones who scored.
5 seconds left. Pekka with the basketball. Back to Bourne. Long three-point shot. It's going to come off the backboard. Put back by the buzzer, and that's good by Caleb Pekka in front of the rim. So the Indians are only going to trail by 1, 19-18 here at halftime. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105.
For those of you watching online on YouTube channel, we want to say thank you to Hot 105.5 for hooking this up, bringing you the action with video, and of course Dalton Worsler for
Turner.
I'm sorry, yeah, Turner
Dalton
for
Turner,
doing the video. Sorry about that, Dalton, but keeping the camera right on all the action for you.
Dalton Turner and Wilson Smith kind of switch off here on the camera duties. We really appreciate them stepping in here and pulling double duty here as filming for the game as well as for our live stream.
Yeah, and I tell you, what a clear picture. You'd expect maybe a step down from regular video, but it's really a clear picture. They've got a nice camera, and kind of works out that they do double duty for the coaches and YouTube feed.
Well, welcome back. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket, and our halftime show is brought to you by St. Paul Tire and Lube, where the Indians trail by 19-18 here at halftime in a pretty good first half put together by both teams. The Indians cold shooting, though, cold shooting has held them off from leading this game, but only lead by 1. And I tell you what, Keith, I know I don't have a vote, and I know that every game Mike and I generally talk about this at some point, and I know he's doesn't lead in the scoring for the Indians, but that Caleb Pekka better get some votes for something in league play, because that kid is 5'9", and I guarantee you he out-rebounds everybody on the team. He does all the dirty work and gets very little of the glory.
He has a real nose for the ball.
He has a nose for the ball.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you can't coach that, I don't think. That's something that's got to be inside of you. I mean, you can bring a kid up a little bit on that, but, man, he does have a nose for the ball, and like you say, out-rebounding.
He can jump like a frog for a 5'9" player, and it's not just one game neither. I mean, you can just he has some special knack that every kid needs to watch to be able to track that basketball off of his teammate or anybody, whoever shoots the ball, the shooter's hand, and kind of know where that ball's going to come off that rim, because it's not a coincidence that he's always in the right place at the right time. He works his tail off on defense, and like I say, he's not going to be in the top line score in the box score as far as scoring, but I guarantee you look in the small print on rebounds and rebound total on individuals, and I guarantee he leads every Indian in that stat by, I bet you it's by double or triple.
You typically see at the high school level that some players go to sleep for a couple plays. I mean, they just kind of stand there and flat-footed and kind of watch the action, and well, I don't think Pekka takes a minute off, or second off, I should say. He is all over it.
So 19-18, Indians trail by 1. Keith will have some stats here right after we come back from this next break. You're listening to the St. Paul Tire and Lube halftime show. Dan Vitt alongside Keith Smith will be back after this 2-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul Supermarket. Our halftime shows brought to you by St. Paul Tire and Lube, where the Indian boys trail by 19-18 here at halftime. What do you got for first half scoring there, Keith?
Well, tell you what, not going to be a whole lot, Dan, because we didn't have a whole lot of scoring by either team. Jayhawk Lynn came out fast. Mason Barrett knocking down 3 3-pointers probably within the first 3 minutes. St. Paul nothing for a long time. But so taking a look at what St. Paul's scoring is, I got Brendan Doherty with 11 points in that first half. He had 1 3-pointer and 3 field goals, then a free throw, if I've got that right. And then take a look at Caleb Pekka. He has I guess he had 12 points in Brendan Doherty for that. Caleb Pekka had 4 points, and the one was on that stick back right before the end of the half. I think it was Doherty or Lemons took that 3-point shot. And it was like everybody took the rest of the half off, and Pekka was under there, grabbed it, and stuck it back in there. And then Braven Bourne had 4 points. He had 1 field goal and 2 free throws. Unfortunately, I don't have shooting percentage, but I'm going to guess 25, 28, 30%, if at that, Dan?
I would be surprised for above 30%, that's for sure. And from three-point land, we're sure way below that 30% mark. And Indians continue to take that open shot. I mean, I know they're open, they're taking the shot, but they just haven't found a rhythm on the three-pointers yet this year. Anyway, Indians and Jayhawk Lynn kind of packing. They're playing a man-to-man, but they're kind of backing off that man-to-man, sagging man-to-man defense here. And as each team warms up here in the second half, so Indians just down by 1, so well into this, scoring mostly by Gray and Barrett for Jayhawk Lynn. So see what kind of adjustments Coach Wattrick makes here at halftime. See if they can't close out on Barrett on that shooting from outside. See if they can't get a little more rhythm on their own shots on the offensive end.
Yeah, he had 12 points for the first half, and those were all on 3-pointers. He started off hot, like I say, then they brought in Adam Albertini and stuck him on him, and I think that slowed Barrett down. They fronted him a little bit and just not able to get that open look. And actually, those first three-pointers from Mason Barrett, he was well a foot to 2 foot behind the line on those shots. He was not crowding the line at all. There was no doubt that those are 3-pointers. And Brandon Gray with 3 field goals and 1 free throw for 7 points for the Jayhawk Lynn team.
Yeah, I think Barrett was 4 for 7 from three-point land, so well over 50%. So nice shooting by that young man to keep Jayhawk Lynn, give the Jayhawk Lynn the lead here. So like I say, we'll see if the Indians, what they do here in the second half, try to slow him down from the outside. And Gray, he's a good offensive threat. I don't think we've seen all of him yet. He played every minute in that first half, so I'm sure he's used to that by now in this stretch of the season. But we'll see what the Indians can dial up here in the second half of this ball game as we're getting set for our second half St. Styles Fitness More tip-off. And I believe it will be Jayhawk Lynn basketball to start this second half.
Nobody really in foul trouble on St. Paul. There's 5 fouls spread out among everybody with 1 foul. Hayden Broyles has 3 fouls for the Jayhawk Lynn team and 1 foul on Nathan Levitt.
Pekka, Bourne, Doherty, Haney, and Anthony Albertini get to start for the Indians. It will be Ware, Gray, Barrett, Stone, and Broyles for Jayhawk Lynn. Stone set to put the ball in play, feeds it in. Now they're going to, Haney, one-on-one against Gray, goes to his left block, spins towards the middle of the lane. Good turnaround shot by him as he gets it to go. They got the Indians all spread out and have Gray one-on-one against Haney. And Gray is definitely a double-team matchup. He's more than one person at 6'4" stature, a very good ball handler. Pekka with the basketball, 3-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Doherty with the basketball at right wing. Doherty drives towards the free throw line, kicks it out to Bourne. Bourne now towards the block, kicks it out to Anthony Albertini. Back to Doherty. And a new offensive set here. 7:22 left to go in the third. Jayhawk Lynn up by 3. Doherty bounce pass into Albertini. He loses it. Pekka chases it down. Apparently Anthony got it swatted out of his hands. And a bad pass by Pekka, and it's a steal by Ware. He feeds it back to Gray. Gray pushes the ball down the court.
Slid his foot there a little bit.
I don't know what the whistle was for.
I think maybe he thought the coach was looking for a timeout and he was mistaken or something. I don't know.
He's right here by the Jayhawk Lynn coach. He blows a whistle. Must have thought he called a timeout. Obviously, he was wrong. So it'll be Jayhawk Lynn basketball on the sideline. They lead by 3, and they do the same thing. Clear it out. Gray turnaround shot, wow. Good. They're going to have the Indians are going to have to sag off of somebody on the inbounds because they're on purpose clearing everybody way out and putting Gray on the block against Haney, and he's 2 for 2 in there on the block. 23-18, 5-point lead. It was 1 at halftime. Now Haney loses the handle, picks it back up, kicks it back to Bourne. Bourne guarded by Barrett. Pekka over to Anthony Albertini.
They're leaving him way open on the side. They know he's not going to shoot the 3.
Pekka into the lane, floater blocked by Gray. He feeds it back out to Broyles, now to Gray. Gray into the lane he goes, floater on the way, no good, but he's going to be fouled. And he's going to go line to shoot 2. So far, this has been all Brandon Gray here in the third quarter. Gray has took the ball into his own hand in the first 2 minutes of this second and has all 4 of Jayhawk Lynn's points. And his first free throw is right through there. You can tell what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him matched up one-on-one and spread everybody out so the Indians aren't in for the double team. The Indians are just going to have to allow a kick out on somebody besides Barrett and stay in there for the double team. 24-18, now back up to a 6-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. The Indians off to another slow start here in the third quarter, just like to start the game. They fought hard to get it back to a 1-point game. The Indians easily break the press. Now out to Lemons, into the lane, 10-foot jump shot, off the rim, no good. Guess who? Pekka with the rebound. Bourne, 3-point shot, right wing, in and out, no good. Haney with the rebound, put back, good. Good offensive board work by the Indians tonight. That's one thing they have done good tonight. They're working hard on them offensive boards. Sag back off of somebody there. Brendan with a double team on Gray, out to Stone, 3-point shot by him, good. That's all right. It's not all right, but you got to go in there with Gray with a hot hand. 8-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Stone hits the wide open 3. The Indians can't buy one from 3-point land. Bourne with the basketball. Off to Lemons. Lemons looks inside. Need to give it to Doherty on that block. Working hard in there against Ware. Now Doherty loses it. Pekka comes back with it. Haney whips it right back to Pekka, and he wasn't even looking at him, and it goes right off of him and out of bounds.
St. Paul's turnovers are killing them in this second half. They can't even get set up for a shot to give the ball away.
28-20, 8-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Gray against Haney. Gets it poked away for a second. Comes back with it. Now he backs in towards the elbow. Everybody else needs to tighten up on their man in that passing lane. Try to come up with some steals here. Stone with the basketball. Guarded out there closely by Doherty. Stone spins away. Into the lane he goes. All the way to the basket. Haney with partial block. Good defense, help defense by him. Lemons right back down with the basketball, almost carried it. Pekka over to Doherty, now to Bourne. He drives the baseline, dribbles back out to Doherty. He's into the lane, no good on the layup. And rebound Ware for Jayhawk Lynn. And that's going to be a foul on Doherty, his second team foul on the Indians.
That was an aggravation foul on Brendan Doherty's part. He got in there and tried to make something happen and fouled.
28-20, Jayhawk Lynn up by 8 early on here, about almost halfway through this third quarter. All Brandon Gray and Stone here. Stone left open once, and he makes the Indians pay on a 3. Gray almost a steal by Pekka. Ware with the basketball feeds it off to Barrett. Barrett guarded by Bourne. Now Doherty almost a steal on Broyles. Gray between the legs, step back 3-pointer by him, off the rim short, rebound Ware, loses it, gets it back, into the lane he goes, layup no good. Pekka strips down the rebound, gets it poked away and stolen from behind as no Indians told him there was somebody coming. So another right back to the Jayhawk, it goes, and Gray with the basketball feeds it off to Ware. Ware guarded by Pekka. Now back up top to Stone. Stone guarded by Doherty. Doherty up 2 fouls. Need to be careful here. Off to Broyles. Broyles pestered out there by Lemons. Gray could have been a walk all the way to the lane, and he scores. This has all been Brandon Gray here in the second half so far as he's really lighting it up. Timeout, Coach Wadrick, full timeout. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout in the St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. That timeout brought to you by St. Paul's Supermarket, where Jayhawk Lynn has off the shoulders of Brandon Gray as out to a 10-point lead, 30-20. Indians with just 2 points in the third quarter so far here, and Brandon Gray with all but 3 of Jayhawk Lynn's points. It's St. Paul's basketball here as Coach Wadrick calls a timeout. Coach Wadrick might most probably needs to think about backing into a zone, Keith, because Brandon Gray's just too much to handle man-to-man. Kenny Haney, it's not that he's not playing good defense. Brandon Gray, 6'4", just a pretty good ball player, is hard to handle in one-on-one situations. So back off, double-team Gray in a zone, and keep a hand in Barrett's face and let somebody else beat you if they need to, or make somebody else beat you. That could have been over the back on Gray. Haney comes out there with a rebound, put back good by Kenny Haney.
Some good work underneath by Kenny Haney. He's really putting journeyman action down there.
Indians staying that man-to-man. Gray with the basketball against Haney. Up above the timeline, picks up the dribble, gets it off to Stone. He's guarded by Doherty. Into the lane he goes, right around Doherty. Everybody else is going to have to work as hard as Kenny Haney's trying to work on Gray on defense. Over to Adam Albertini, who's in the game, off to Lemons. Back to a 10-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Lemons off to Adam Albertini. He drives the baseline. Now all the way in there. And did he step on the baseline?
I don't know what that call was.
Apparently it must have stepped onto the baseline and out of bounds. So back to Jayhawk Lynn it goes. 32-22, 10-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Gray with the basketball, guarded by Haney as he dribbles up by the timeline. Bounce pass to Ware, off to Barrett. Now they go back up above the timeline and reset. Bounce pass stolen away. Doherty, left-handed layup, good, and he's fouled. So Doherty goes to the line, try to complete three-point play as he's fouled by Barrett. Good hands by Doherty, jumping in that passing lane, getting a steal.
He went in under control, too. Sometimes you see those breakaways like that, and they just can't quite catch up to their cadence. But Doherty was able to keep it under control, go in and slide in there and make the basket and get the foul.
2:23 left to go here in the third, 32-24. Doherty's free throw is good. That foul should have been on 5, should have been on Barrett.
Who was that on?
It should have been on Barrett, 5. He was the only one down there. They got on 14 on Ware, but I don't know, maybe it was on Ware. I didn't think he was close to the pressure. Either way, backdoor cut by Ware, layup good. Lemons got beat on the back door, and the Indians cannot get in a defensive stance as they gave back-to-back layups up against Jayhawk Lynn. Lemons with the basketball, and it's going to be a foul on Ware on the push from the backside. His second, 34-25, 9-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. I guess that's just his first. Thought that was his second.
Should be his second.
I thought he had one in the first half.
I don't think they put it up.
They just show one on the scoreboard, but I'm pretty sure that's his second.
That was on Gray, wasn't it? Yeah, that was on Brandon Gray.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, on Gray.
Okay.
Was that just his first? Lemons chase it down. He's in the corner, guarded out there by Gray. Over to Doherty, now to Adam Albertini. Back to Doherty, long three-point shot off the rim, no good. Gray with the rebound.
Haney was positioned, the carry was too long.
Gray, three-pointer of his own. Good.
Oh, gee. He's lighting it up now.
37-25, 12-point lead. Adam Albertini, backdoor cut to Pekka. Nice feed from Albertini to Pekka, and he scores. 10-point lead for Jayhawk Land with 1:20 left to go in the third. Indians staying this man-to-man against Gray. Gray against Haney as Anthony Albertini comes to the scores table. Ware tries to hand it back to Gray. Somehow it's loose all over the place. Barrett back up top to Stone, and it's going to be fouled by Brendan Doherty. He just picked up his third foul.
Just a little too aggressive in there by Brendan Doherty. Gray is, if I've got it just right up on 18 points on the night for Jayhawk Lynn.
And I think 11 of them is in this third quarter. 37-27 as Gray comes out of the game for the first time tonight. Stone set to put the ball in play. He won't be on that bench very long, I guarantee you that. Stone tries to lob it in. Easton Dent stops it away. Doherty comes out there with it, feeds it ahead to Adam Albertini, and he's going to travel with the basketball as he loses it. So the Indians with a fast break opportunity can't get the handle on it, and another turnover by the Indians gives it right back to Jayhawk Land. They lead by 10, 37-27. Indians can't get out of their own way, Keith.
Albertini was looking at the basket, thought he had the ball in hand already, and just didn't look the ball into his hands.
Ware with the basketball, feeds it to Levitt. Back to Ware. Dent's on him. 35 seconds left to go in the third. Bounce pass to Broyles to Barrett. Barrett above the three-point line, guarded by Adam Albertini. Picks up his dribble now. And Lemons lets Broyles by him. Drives the baseline. Now, good job by Anthony Albertini with the steal. 18 seconds left to go in the third. 15, Doherty all the way to the lane. Layup. Oh, good. I thought it was going to roll out there. 37-29, 8-point lead for. It's tipped away by Adam Albertini. 2 seconds left. Shot at the buzzer off the backboard. No good. 37-29, 8-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105.
Brendan Doherty's up to 17 points for the Indians. There's the only 3 in the game.
For the Indian, St. Paul?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we, 1 for 17?
Something like that, yeah.
Not very good. For those of you streaming online, the Indians have shot their share of threes, just can't get one to fall again. Oh, welcome back. Start the fourth quarter here. Indians trail by 8. 37-29. St. Paul will start with possession of the basketball. Bourne, Adam Albertini, Caleb Lemons, Anthony Albertini, and Easton Dent in the game for the Indians. So Albertini out to Lemons. Lemons, bad pass, almost stolen by Barrett. Tipped in the backcourt, but Bourne comes up with it. So Indians got some work to do here in this fourth quarter. Lemons with the basketball, feeds it into Anthony Albertini. Oh, he pushes Gray out of the way, and Gray blocks his shot. There's Albertini with a lot of left hand there. Got away with a little push, but Gray blocks his shot. Now Easton Dent is on Gray. Way up above the timeline. I don't really like this matchup on man-to-man. Easton, good physical ball player, but if they clear things out of here a little bit, Gray's liable to be able to take him off the dribble. And
wow.
Who's that on?
I think it's on Dent.
Easton Dent.
Called from the other side of the court, too.
That is on Easton Dent, on Gray. 4th team foul, 2nd on Dent. Stone set to put the ball in play for Jayhawk Lynn. Feeds it back over the top to Gray, up above the timeline. It's been all Brandon Gray in that third quarter. 11 of his 18 points in that third quarter, so he really come to life from inside and outside. Indians kind of in a double team now. Good steal by Bourne as he gets in front of Ware. Bourne pushes the ball up all the way in, layup. Oh, he missed it. Anthony Albertini, couple ball fakes, put back good, and he fouled. Good job by Anthony Albertini. Work on the boards. I thought maybe might have traveled a little bit. Looked like he got his feet tangled up. But Albertini has a chance to cut this lead to 5. Good steal by Bourne to start that possession. So a little life by the Indians here. See if Albertini can convert. Anthony's free throw on the way and right through there and good. 37-32, 6:49. Now a little press applied by the Indians. They get it ahead to Ware. Back out to Barrett. Long three-point. Good.
Oh, wow. He had him in his face, too.
Barrett connects on the 3. 8-point lead for Jayhawk land. Adam Albertini kicks out the Lemons. Three-pointer of his own. Off, no good. Barrett can't miss, and the Indians can't connect. Stone back with the basketball, feeds it back to Gray. Gray picked up out there by Dent. Now back to Gray, long three-pointer of his own, right through there and good. 43-32, 11-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. So the Indians fought hard to get it to 5. Now back-to-back three-pointers. Now turnover by Adam Albertini. Gray with the basketball against Lemons, and layup good.
That was too easy.
All of a sudden it's a 13-point lead. Anthony Albertini at the baseline with the ball over to Lemons. I don't know if Barrett usually shoots like that from the field, but he is way over 50% from three-point land. Bourne three-point shot, no good. Gray with the rebound. 5:40 left to go in the game. Indians trail all of a sudden by 13, and about a minute ago it was 5.
You know, it looked up till that point like the Pleasanton game where the Indians just sluggish and all of a sudden come alive and get close and win the game, but they got a mountain now.
Ware thought about the 3, feeds it back to Gray. Better get in a stance and get on him. Up above the timeline as they're patiently going to take their time here on offense. Bounce pass to Ware. Ware to Broyles. Broyles over to Barrett. Adam Albertini tightens up on him. Now back to Ware as Jayhawk Land just content in passing this ball around as the Indians just kind of letting them do it. With 5 minutes left to go in the game and a 13-point lead. Now Stone all the way to the rim, and he's fouled, and he'll go line and shoot 2.
That's on Anthony Albertini or Lemons.
Indians have been in a man-to-man this whole second half. Started out a 2-3 zone and kind of slowed Gray down. It wasn't for Barrett shooting from the outside, having the first three threes, the first 9 points of the game. That zone kind of really slowed Jayhawk Lynn down except for Barrett. And now since they've gotten a man, Gray has really taken over in this game. That first free throw by Stone is good. Now all of a sudden it's up to 14-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. Stone settles in for his second. It's on its way off. Nope, it's in. Gets the bounce. There's Haney, Doherty, and Adam Albertini, Caleb Peckett, and Caleb Lemons in the game. Albertini into the lane. Floater good. Good job by Adam Albertini. If you can't hit a 3, get closer to the rim. That's my motto, Keith.
Yeah, really.
Feed into Gray. Gray down the sideline. Triple team down there. Feeds it to Ware. Ware. Shot good. With a 13-footer. So all of a sudden, Jayhawk Lynn can't miss. Lemons with the basketball into the free throw line. Shot on the way by him. Way off, no good. Rebound to Ware. Gets it back to Broyles, who gets it to Barrett. 4:13 left to go in the game. Gray shot from the left baseline.
Wow.
Good.
Gray is lighting it up now.
52-34. Adam Albertini tries to feed it inside. Slapped away by Stone. Ball's loose. Doherty ends up with it. Layup good. Press applied by the Indians. Gray gets it into Ware. He's cut off, and that's going to be an offensive foul on Ware. So turnover on him gives it back to the Indians. 52-36, 16-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn.
I got 26 points on Brandon Gray right now, Dan.
I wonder what we ought to do different.
I don't know.
Gray is shooting lights out. It don't seem It's a good idea. I mean, it's not necessarily anybody's fault. He's just a lights out shooter. I was watching the warm-ups before the second half, and he was shooting them from everywhere out there and just making them left, right, and sideways. Haney with the three-pointer, top of the key, and he hits. 52-39, a 13-point lead for Jayhawk Land. It was 1 at halftime. Now it was as many as 16. Now it's 13. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, we got it. I thought he called a timeout. Gray calls a timeout, and the ref on this side calls a foul on. I was going to say, Bravenborn's not even on the floor. It must have been on Kenny Haney. It is second foul on Kenny Haney, 16th foul. Boy, I'm a little confused with what's going on. Now they're going to get together. Took him long enough to figure out maybe he wanted to talk about this. I guess they're going to stick with the call. I'm not sure what's going on, what they're talking about. I know Gray tried to call a timeout, or did call a timeout. I've seen him do that. And Haney, Gray gets it in, and now it's tipped by Haney, and it's going to block on inbound, so it's going to stay with Jayhawk Land.
Some good pressure defense right there.
That was Paul trying to pick things up here on the press, Keith, really trying to create some turnovers here. Need to, with trailing by 13, with 3:22 left to go in the game. Really got to get something happening here. Feed into Gray, and that's going to be a foul on Kayla Pekka. And that's going to be the 1-1. Let's send Gray to the line, shoot front in a 1-1. And that's probably not the guy you want at the free throw line. No. Brandon Gray, a real good ball player, Keith. No doubt about it. And he's everything wrote up about him.
Has 19 points in the second half.
26 for the game.
Yep.
26 of the 52 points for Jayhawk Land as Gray makes the front end of 1-1.
That was his 4th point from the free throw line. I thought he'd be up the line a lot more than you'd think.
Second shot on its way. You know, last time, who the heck, we made an adjustment the second half against, can't remember who it was. Haney back to Doherty. I'll finish that here in just a minute. Abbott Albertini in the lane. Good feed.
Nice pass.
Good feed into Lemons. Timeout by Coach Wartrick. 54-39, 15-point lead. Anyway, I was going to say that coming out in that second half, I can't remember who was playing. Somebody was lighting us up, and Coach Wartrick went to a box and one. And that really, it wouldn't be too bad of a thing here tonight. You'd have to keep a hand in Barrett's face, but, man, you got the other 4 in the lane to keep Gray from driving in there. And you have somebody chase him around all night long because he is just lighting us up. Here now he's got, 28 on the night, 28 of the 54. 54-41, 13-point lead for Jayhawk Land. Coach Wartrick got a timeout, so the Indians obviously going to get press here, try to create some turnovers. 17 fouls on the Indians, so Jayhawk Land in the bonus. Jayhawk Land, a pretty good ball team, really led by Brandon Gray.
Like you say, if you got that inside-outside threat, but you know, with Barrett and Gray, then Gray can step out too. So
they get it into Gray, and they foul. As 2 players grab Ware, Haney and Lemons both grab Ware, and it took them 4 seconds to make a call. As Brandon Gay was dribbling, and Lemons and Haney's both looking like, and Ware's got his hand up in the air like, what the heck? So it's 1-1, 18 foul, second on Lemons. As Ware goes to the line to shoot the front end of 1-1. Stone comes back into the game for Levitt. Ware settles in at the line, shoots front end of 1-1. 18 fouls on the Indians. They trail 54-41, trail by 13. Free throw on its way and good.
That's his first point of the night.
Second shot by Ware is right through there, so he feed it into Pekka.
I take that back. He had a field goal earlier.
Doherty, long 3-point shot by him, off the rim, short, no good. Caleb Pekka tips it around. Gray comes out of there with it. He's double teamed down there as he must have got poked in the mouth. Fed it to Barrett. Barrett back to Broyles. Almost a back court. Now Barrett with the ball. Feeds it back to Gray.
They're not going to shoot.
Gray to Stone. Shot from the baseline.
Wow.
Gets the bounce. Somehow he gets the bounce.
Got the roll.
58-41,
sure.
17-point lead as Doherty gets bumped. No call. Man, I don't understand how they cannot call.
I know.
And then Doherty gets called for the foul. Doherty got bumped hard by Ware as he went to the basket. No call. Just 14 fouls on Jayhawk Lynn. 19th foul on the Indians. 4th on Doherty, I believe. 58-41. Jayhawk Lynn up by 17. It's a 1-point game at halftime. 19-18, and Brandon Gray has really taken over here in this second half. His free throws off. Rare miss by him. You better mark that one up in the books. Adam Albertini a long three-pointer. Our three-point shooting percentage is getting lower by the minute.
Kenny Haney was out all by himself at the wing, and they just didn't get to him.
Caleb Lemons pestering Gray backboard. Gets to Ware. Ware feeds it to Stone. Back to Gray. 2:10 left to go in the game. 17-point lead for Jayhawk Lynn. As Gray loses it. Adam Albertini steals it from him to Pekka. Pekka, couple ball fakes, layup good. Now Ware feeds it in to Broyles, back to Ware. Now to Barrett.
15
to
point.
Stone, back up top to Ware. Double team out there, and now they're going to. How does that?
What?
No, I don't understand.
Wow.
I think the guy at the baseline is the one that blew the whistle. Now they're getting together to talk about it. I don't know what call is going to be here as they both get together to talk about it. He called that foul clear from the baseline. She was standing 3 feet from the basketball, and I'll never understand that one. As he calls a foul on Caleb Lemons. 10th foul, so double bonus. Boy, if you're watching that on the YouTube live stream, you tell me how the guy standing at the baseline 25 feet away makes that call compared to the person standing 3 feet away. Either way, it's really a moot point at this point of the ball game. 43-59, Indians trail. Indians travel to Altoona Friday night, try to get back on track here, and then next week, a busy week at home. Monday, Southern Coffee County comes to town. Now that'll be a good matchup, Keith, because Southern Coffee County will also be in our sub-state. Gray just blocks Haney on the three-pointer. All the way down comes Gray.
Oh.
He tries to dunk it, and he's fouled by Doherty, and he's just fouled out of the game. As Doherty keeps Gray from dunking it on the breakaway as he blocked Kenny Haney's three-pointer. 60-43, 17-point lead as Grant Hutcherson checks into the game for the Indians. Gray settles into the line to shoot two. First shot is on its way short, no good. So that's the only place Gray struggled here lately from the free throw line. Anyway, finish up my thoughts here. Monday night, Southern Coffee County comes to, well, Friday night we go to Altoona Midway. Monday night, Southern Coffee County comes to town, and then Tuesday night, Oswego comes to town, and then Yates Center on Friday night. So busy week at home next week, and then next Thursday, or the Thursday after that, Crest comes to St. Paul Senior Parent Night. So make sure you want to watch some St. Paul Indian basketball here down the stretch. You're going to have a good opportunity coming down the stretch in our final 4 of our last 5 games are all at home and in sub-states here at home the week of the 26th. Seedings and game times will be announced at the 26th. As subs check in the game, Hayden Smith, Chase and Chandler Bradshaw, Adam Albertini, and Grant Hutcherson are in the game for the Indians. Jayhawk leads 61-43 with 1:25 left to go in the game. Bradshaw feeds it into Albertini, Adam Albertini. Excuse me. Off to Grant Hutcherson, back to Adam Albertini.
It was Chandler Bradshaw in that JV game was just on fire with 3-pointers.
Chase Bradshaw, three-pointer from the right wing, no good. Rebound Stone for Jayhawk win. Jayhawk Lynn's mostly, except for Gray, has their starters out there. Number 3 is in the game for Jayhawk Lynn. Lowe, a 5'6" sophomore. Feed into the Levitt, up to Stone. 47 seconds left to go in the game. 61-43. Stick around for our KW Trucking postgame show and our D-Rail Commodity Player of the Game. Ware with the basketball guarded by Hutcherson. Feeds it back to Stone, guarded by Albertini. Boy, he almost stepped back court.
Yep, just about stepped out.
And that's going to be a...
Wow.
He could have put the subs in when Coach Watrick did, but either way, a short timeout here. Jayhawk Lynn put their subs in with 23 seconds left to go in the game as Jayhawk Lynn puts their bench in as he tries to line everybody out here. So St. Paul going to come out with a Three Rivers loss here. They lost to Northeast, and so they got 2 losses in league play here. So they're going to have to try to get right the ship against Altoona Midway here Friday night, and then you go on the road to Altoona Midway. Somewhere along the lines, the Indians, if they stand a chance in their sub-states, going to have to clean up this shooting from the outside because they just have not. I hate saying it over and over, but I'd hate to see their three-point shooting percentage since the Southeast tournament because it has been horrible. And it's not because they're not open, and three-pointer on the way by Jayhawk Lynn at the buzzer is no good. Final score, 61-43. Indians played hard but come out short here. Stick around for our KW Trucking postgame show. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout. You listen to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. For you guys listening to our live stream, 61-43 is the final score. We're going to go ahead and take the live stream down here at the end of the game. Thank everybody for watching and listening on the live stream. St. Paul comes up short tonight in this Three Rivers game against Jayhawk Lynn, 61-43.